going on, everybody? Welcome to the RBS Cinema Podcast.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
This is Sparta! I'm thinking I'm back.
Why so serious?
Avengers!
Assemble. I'm Batman. You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
I'll be back.
You shall not pass!
RBS.
Lovely.
Welcome to another episode of RBS Cinema. This week's episode, we decided to talk about Transformers. 2007 Transformers, the Michael Bay Transformers. The first in the franchise, which would then subsequently inspire Transformers 1, the animated film.
Would it inspire it, or would it be...
No, my brain was trailing off to that. I was just like, screw it. It'll
You
work.
could say that it inspired it in a way that, we needed to revitalize this this franchise for, what is it, like a third time cinematically?
Yes. The third time in its iteration of films, because you had the first cartoon animated film back in the 80s, Daft Punk did the soundtrack for. So that was great. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Never mind.
No, they did not.
I got confused because of the internet.
Daft
okay?
Punk was not, man.
No, it's because of the internet that brainwashed me to think that Daft Punk did the soundtrack for the first Transformers movie. They did not. I was mistaken and I was wrong. So I will take my punishment. Fuck you. With that being said, welcome to the second episode of the Summer Movie Blockbuster block. So for those of you that are just tuning in with this, pretty much what we're doing is at the end of each episode, we will spin a wheel corresponding to a list of movies that we have picked out that are Summer Movie Blockbusters. And that will be next week's episode. Hence the reason why we're talking about Transformers now. So,
because you wanted to put it on the list.
I didn't want to put it on the list. That was my friend that put it on the list.
Oh, your friend.
So, shout out to my friend Dustin for the suggestion for the movie. So, but even for me, I wouldn't have put Transformers on this list, but I'm glad that he did.
You're glad that he did.
I'm glad that he did, because I told him that, like, oh yeah, just pick out summer movies or movies that make you feel like that's a summer movie. Jack doesn't like when I say that because he doesn't understand the correlation between, okay, well, summer blockbusters, that it comes out in the months of summer being June, July, and August, versus summer movie blockbusters that are not summer movies, but for my definition, comes out around the year regardless.
Okay, first of all, I didn't say that I didn't like it when you did that. I'm just saying that we have taken
well, that's what I interpreted
for
it
the
as.
third time that I've been explaining this. We've been taking very different approaches to how we define what a summer blockbuster is. You're going for the vibes. I'm going for literal summer blockbuster.
Yeah, by literal definition.
So we got a mixed match of movies on our wheel that we have yet to get through. We got like
some of the movies
2 down,
that
10 to go, right? There's 12 of them on there, right?
11.
No, 11 to go. Yes, because we forgot about 4th of July, Independence Day. Correct.
Yeah. So don't worry about that if it's not on the wheel, because we will just automatically talk about it because it's the 4th of July. And what better way to celebrate the 4th of July with Independence Day? I'm pretty sure lots of people do that. So, like, they're like, oh, man, it's the 4th. Well, time to celebrate by watching Independence Day.
Yeah,
because other than drinking, barbecue, swimming, lighting off fireworks.
Third degree burns.
Hell yeah. Missing fingers and limbs. Let's go. That's a way to celebrate our freedom. Blowing off your appendages.
I never tell about my buddy Keith. He tried to put out fireworks using gasoline. 3rd degree burns over 95% of his body.
Well, it's kind of like with Thanksgiving that people will literally dump a frozen turkey into a vat of boiling oil And that's a good way to actually like catch your house on fire
It
or
is.
also cause bodily harm towards yourself and
Yeah,
others.
don't deep fry your turkey.
But otherwise, I'm in for a grand old time. Are you ready for this movie?
Yeah, because like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, this 2007 was a good time for me.
Yeah.
Because this is my first foray into Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, this is my first like Transformers experience as a kid.
Oh yeah, me too. Like I knew about the cartoons, but I never watched them as a kid growing up, just because it was like after my time.
Yeah,
So-
it was also after my time. I was born too late to experience the rise in popularity. And Beast Wars was coming out as I was, learning to speak. So, not exactly time for that. So, like, then the franchise died for a little bit, and then Hasbro decided, well,
We'll just revamp it as live action.
we can't just do a movie about Sorry, the video, like the board game, So we gotta
Chutes and
it's
Ladders.
way too early to put My Little Pony into the mix.
Yeah.
So it was like, what other dead franchise can we bring back that's based on toys? And it's like, oh, Transformers is right there.
Why not Transformers?
No, actually, the first thing it says, let's do G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
And
G.I. Joe.
then
and
9/11
then
happened. It was like, maybe we went to war in Iraq, and maybe that wasn't quite the best time for us to do that.
Yeah, then it was Transformers.
It was Transformers, and then they asked
and then
Michael
they
Bay.
did G.I. Joe.
Well, they asked Michael Bay to do it, and it's just like, this seems like a stupid toy movie. I don't want to do it. And then I explained to Michael Bay, it's like, oh, did you know that there's actually like, an animated series about this, and they actually have a storyline behind this? And then he was like, oh, say no more.
Right.
I'll do it now, no problem, but I'm not going to do it like they did it.
Yeah.
Because I'm Michael Bay, and I have a specific way of directing. And
Plus, there's like a lot of lens flares, so
Yes.
you could argue that it's like J.J. Abrams was also behind the wheel, but because of early Michael Bay, I don't know if he's done it in like his recent movies. Not that I can remember.
I haven't seen
because it's been a while since I've seen a Michael Bay film. But like he has like a lot of like slow-mo shots
Yes.
that don't necessarily need to be slow-mo, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
This movie was also produced by Steven Spielberg.
yes, it was.
But he had almost no hand in like directing or creating the film at all. He just produced
Nope.
it, and
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm just gonna let this guy do all the work because he has a vision. Which, to be
Yeah.
fair, to give Michael Bay credit, back in 2007, it seemed like they really tried with this film. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, is like there's a lot of practical effects.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
like,
apparently, looking at IMDb right here, because like we'll get more into this, but like apparently it says it was nominated for 3 Oscars, with 25 wins and 50 nominations total. What those are?
But it didn't win an Oscar.
No, it was just nominated. Probably for like best visual effects for the time.
Probably.
Yeah, sound mixing, sound editing, and visual effects. So yeah, those
mean,
are the
you
3
can't-
nominations.
You can say a lot about this film, but you can't say that it doesn't look cool.
Yeah.
This film is cool. Mm-hmm. It's on the scale of coolness from like to like if you to take a little bit of like Top Gear's Cool Wall, right? This film is kind of like on the scale of like seriously uncool, cool, and like Sub-Zero. This movie is Sub-Zero.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it doesn't mean it's good.
It oozes
it's cool.
out coolness throughout.
It's so cool,
Yeah.
So,
It's such a cool movie. So
and I've seen this film probably at least 5 times before this,
same.
just because it's.
When was the first time that you saw this?
I think I saw it in theaters.
Same.
In 2007, I saw it in theaters, which
See,
like
so, you know,
I didn't know
so
what the
did
hell
I.
was going on. I just saw like I just saw like a helicopter turn into a robot, and they're like, that's cool,
Yeah.
And then
That's Sub-Zero. Wrong franchise.
it was
okay.
yeah, so like because like I remember being so excited when the second movie came out because there was like leaks
Yeah.
of it coming out, like you saw
Like, oh man, more Transformers. That's
very-
cool.
The very first scene got leaked, and this is when I was still like, my mom showed it to me on her iMac laptop. That's how because that was in 2009, 2 years after this film came out.
Yeah.
This film came out before the iPhone came out.
Yeah, because everybody was using like.
Well, like, it was the same year the
like,
iPhone came out,
Yeah,
2007.
because like people were using Nokia phones and like slider phones and stuff like that. So But yeah, my first experience was that, and probably during the summer, I would imagine, because I don't even remember when this movie officially came out. It just says 2007.
Yeah,
I don't have it pulled up, so, and I don't care that much. But yeah, you look it up while I talk. But it was funny because like me and my dad, I think my sister, we went to the theater and we went to go see a movie, and then we got out of it, and then my dad goes like, "Oh, look, Transformers is playing right now," so we just snuck into that movie to watch it. So we theater hopped, and then like we walked in, and it was just starting, like when like after the opening sequence of Optimus talking about like, yeah, so like we're from Cybertron, the Allspark came to Earth, like now we're going to Earth, blah blah blah. That whole synopsis for him, like after that it was like the soldiers flying over the sand.
So like it was just after Optimus
in the Middle East
opening dialogue in the beginning.
So like we just got in when it just started. I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome.
Before time, there was
the spark.
Cube.
There was the cube.
This movie came out July 3rd, 2007. So,
wow, so
it is a summer blockbuster.
It is. But you could also argue it is a 4th of July movie.
Yeah, like this movie does.
They probably had for the marketing, like, get ready to celebrate your independence with Transformers. Like, remember the old toys that you used to play with, and they could transform from robots into trucks and vice versa, into planes and cassette tapes and everything. Yeah, now they're going to be on the big screen.
It's funny that like this movie came out around that time because like, you know, Independence Day come out. It's like this movie is a disaster movie.
It is.
Like that's what Michael Bay was going for instead of just like wacky robots doing wacky things fighting on Earth, like being like funny. This is like no, this is the end of the world, alien invasion, disaster.
Sorry, my cat's trying to decide. Okay, there he goes. It's like he's trying to decide if he's going to jump up on the bed or not. But let's go ahead and dive right into Transformers. So let's transform and roll out for this movie. I purposefully did that just to see your reaction. Make you cringe. Okay, so bare bones of what the movie is about. Is about an ancient alien or an ancient struggle between two Cybertronian races. That's a word. The heroic Autobots and the evil Decepticons come to Earth with a clue to the ultimate power held by a teenager. They don't even say that it's about the Allspark either. Or
well,
Cube.
They don't like lead into it, but like it's funny that they use Cybertronian. You know,
that's kind of a big word.
Yeah, it is a big word. It's what they are. They're Cybertronians,
right?
But like, they could have just said an ancient being like alien races. You know?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've really heard them be specific in like a description of the film on IMDb.
It's kind of strange.
A bit strange, but like, yeah, it's the Transformers. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody knows about the Transformers now. I feel like there hasn't been somebody who hasn't at least like heard of like the Michael Bay Transformers films, like Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, you know they are robots in disguise, so
yes, that is.
Which we already mentioned it before. So we got director Michael Bay, got writers Roberto Orci. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Alex Kurtzman and John Rogers. So. And
could you say the real heroes of this movie? No, you couldn't.
No,
definitely not.
Which, of course, you already said it. We have producer because it's not on here, but Spielberg is the producer of it, which is very surprising because this isn't his usual bag that he would be associated with.
Yeah,
necessarily. So. But then we got some of the people that are in the movie here. We got Shia LaBeouf. I like to say Shia LaBeouf, but sometimes I like to say LaBeouf because it's funny to say. So, just do it himself.
Do it! Just do it!
No, this was before it. This is before Just Do It.
I know this is way before. This is before he started going off the deep end and started going crazy and tweaking out and stuff. But he doesn't actually tweak out until the second movie. So
I don't even know what Shia LaBeouf is anymore, to be honest.
Well, he is a world-renowned actor. He was in Holes, which you've never seen.
I know who
So
who
get
Shia
him in the
LaBeouf
comments.
Is. I don't know.
Get him.
I just don't know what he's doing now. You know,
He was actually in a movie which
like, do people take him seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Or is he like actually an actor now? Because it was a lot of time it was like, I used to be an actor.
Well,
you know, like,
he was
like
like
going.
going. Well, like he was going off the deep end, and like he was trying to find himself as a person. And
it looked like he was trying to destroy his own career.
Yeah, because like he was so like fucked up in the head, which this is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So check out your friends, check out other people, make sure that they're okay. But also not to overshadow that it's also Pride Month, but they can go hand in hand, okay? But yes. Other than that, on a lighter note, kind of a serious note, but yeah, like Shia LaBeouf, he was going off the deep end. That's the reason why I think he was like he was at an award ceremony. I don't remember if it was the Oscars or what, but like he had on a paper bag that said like who am I or something like that.
I think it was like, so, I am no longer famous.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Something like that.
Yeah, and like it's because that people thought of him as a joke. And it's like he didn't know who he was for a while. So then he, because like I remember seeing this because John Bernthal has his own podcast where he talks to like a bunch of like his celebrity friends and everything. Mm-hmm. So he had on Shia LaBeouf and like he talked to Shia about what happened in his life and stuff. And like Shia LaBeouf actually made a documentary about his own life like growing up, and he played as his dad. So I was just like, I gotta check this out. I still haven't. I'll probably do that after this, just so that way I have a better like. And it's called Honey Boy, if I remember. I think that's what it's called, is Honey Boy. So because like his dad took advantage of him from an early age and like pushed him to be an actor, so that way his dad could basically mooch off of him while he was making the money. Because of course, when you're a child and you're acting and everything, you don't have the ability to put your signature on everything because you're not legally an adult.
Yeah.
So your parents look over the contract, say, yeah, that looks good, and then signs it for you. And then they take everything that you're basically like doing and making and everything essentially. And it's kind of like where I don't know this from firsthand for experience or heard about it or anything, but like, it's like, okay, you know, like you get an allowance.
Yeah.
And then like once you get 16 or 15, like, and you have your driver's license, hey, let's go and buy you a car with your money that you made.
Yeah.
But in this case, his dad basically took advantage of him from a young age while he was acting and basically messed him up. I think, if I remember, got him into drugs and drinking and stuff from a young age as well. So it kind of like messed him up from a young age. So
I wonder how much being in these movies had like set him back, you know? Because he was
like,
only in 3 of them. There are 5 of them.
Oh yeah,
he's only in 3 of them.
Yeah, and then you get shittier with the Mark Wahlberg ones. But
Cade Yeager.
Yeah, so I don't even remember how those whole things like popped off. I remember that Mark Wahlberg was a mechanic in the 4th one, and then like he found Optimus Prime, or like his daughter did, or something. And then he was working on it, and then all of a sudden it like.
No.
And then Optimus became alive again.
It's
something.
even worse than you think. Quick aside, sorry. We're gonna get to this film. I promise.
Yes, we will actually talk about this movie.
I want to talk about like that. Like so, like he finds the remains of an old truck who is Optimus Prime, like hiding, but he's like broken down.
Right.
And he wants to strip it for parts. Right. He eventually finds out that this is a Transformer. He doesn't know who it is, but it's like. If I can strip this down, I could be. This could be a great thing for because he's like a struggling like
mechanic,
like not only mechanic. He's a running a tech business,
but
it's like it's like a really shitty one. He's like behind on his bills. Like they're gonna like
foreclose his house and take his
like,
stuff
like that.
Whatever. Yeah,
but like, he's such a failed mechanic, so he's like, I can't think of anything myself, so I'm just going to take down this alien technology and I'm gonna put it in my business. I was like, that's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Cade Yeager's not a good person.
No.
You really could say that no human in this movie is like a good person.
Well, the fourth, fifth, and sixth ones.
I would say in all the movies.
Well, yeah, because then you've got the one guy that works for Sector 7. Like, he was a meatball. So, like, he was, like, taking advantage with his power and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, especially later on when Sam and Michaela, they get arrested. And they're on their way to Sector 7, and he goes like, "You see this badge? This is get away with it." And
this is do whatever I want and get away with it badge.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I will lock you up for life.
Yeah.
I love Agent Simmons so much.
He's great. Like, especially in the third one. Oh man, he's great in the third one. But
he's great in all of them. He carries the movies. I feel like. Speaking of him, let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue with the rest of the list. We got Megan Fox, who she has a tragic backstory with Michael Bay. Which at some point I do want to talk about the Bad Boys movies because those are actually pretty decent and good. But yeah, she was 14 when she was in that movie. She was in the club scene in the first Bad Boys movie.
Oh, I thought you meant she was 14 in this movie.
No. I think she might have been like 17, 18. Because like Bad Boys was like the first one wasn't that, like it was before 2000. So I think it was like 98, 99, something like that, if I remember. I don't know. I can't remember. But continuing on, we got Josh Duhamel, great actor. Got Tyrese Gibson from Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
We got Rachel Taylor, who plays as Maggie, who is one of the team that was trying to decode the Transformers, like trying to see who was logging in and stuff. Got Anthony Anderson, who plays as her friend. I love Anthony Anderson. He's great. Got John Voight, who is the Secretary of Defense. And then we got Agent Simmons himself, John Turturro.
John Turturro is great.
Yeah. Got just a couple more here. Got Michael O'Neill, who plays as Tom, who is the head honcho above Simmons.
Yeah.
Got Kevin Dunn, who I also love because he was also the dad in Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
So, and then last but not least, we got his wife being Julie White, not his actual wife, but who played as Sam's mom.
That's so weird that like you see we're looking at the cast screen on IMDb right now, which is what we usually do.
Yeah.
But none of the Transformers are listed on the in the cast like the first cast members.
Yeah.
It's weird. They're like it's only the human actors. You don't see any of the voice actors.
Yeah.
Like it must be further down the thing, but like I mean, the real only person of note who is a voice actor for this film is Peter Cullen, who voices Optimus Prime, and he's the original Optimus Prime from the original animated series.
Right.
And I believe what's funny is that in this film, they don't use Frank Welker as Megatron, but Frank Welker voices Starscream.
Yeah. So like I could also go down the list of the voice actors for the Transformers. So
just
we got
real quick.
Yeah, so we'll just list them off. So yeah, we got Peter Cullen, like you said, as Optimus Prime. We got Mark Ryan as Bumblebee, which I don't really understand why you would have him if he's using the radio, but I guess towards at the end of the movie where he's actually able to talk.
He speaks for
has like 2 lines and then that's it. But then we got Darius McRae, who plays as Jazz, Robert Foxworth, who is Ratchet, Jess Harnell, who's Ironhide / Barricade, Hugo Weaving was Megatron. I didn't know that he was Megatron up until just now. So
what else was he in Hugo Weaving?
He was the Agent Smith from Matrix.
Really?
He was also the Red Skull in Captain America.
Oh, I did not know that.
Not in Endgame.
Okay.
Or Infinity War. So they got another actor to play as him. But then we got Jimmy Wood, who plays as Bone Crusher. And Reno Wilson, who is Frenzy, and Charlie Adler, who plays.
I guess he wasn't.
So
maybe I misheard.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. Okay.
Maybe he plays him in a different.
I was wrong.
I don't know.
I remember. Oh no! Here's what it was. Sorry. Frank Welker voices Megatron in the video games.
Yeah.
In the Transformers Bayverse video games, they got Frank Welker to do Megatron.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, they couldn't get him for the movie.
Yeah,
it was but they got him for the 4th and 5th movies.
Yeah, that's also interesting.
Frank Welker voices Galvatron, which is just another
Transformer.
No, is the upgraded version of Megatron.
Yeah.
In the 4th and 5th movies. It's so weird. Like, why? I don't know why they couldn't get him for the first time, but they got Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
But like, Peter Cullen does such a good job as Optimus Prime. You know, it's like.
I mean, he is the voice of Optimus.
Yeah.
So, like, he's the
people
only other voice that I know of off the top of my head that it's just like, yeah, that's Optimus.
Yeah.
Like, there's some voice actors that are just synonymous with their roles,
Yes.
where it's like Mark Hamill is the Joker.
Is the Joker,
Or
correct.
it's like, God, I hate myself for not knowing it, but like Kevin Conroy, who plays as Batman,
yeah.
in the animated series. So it's like, no, that's Batman.
Yeah, as Batman.
So, and like, even when they did a live action version of the scene of where he goes like, I am the dark, I am the night, I am Batman, where it was like a silly YouTube video that he was a part of, where
Yeah.
he was fighting, like, where he was fighting someone, but he was actually in the live action Flash, where they did like a I think like a Flashpoint episode or part in that series. So I don't know, it's been forever since I've seen the Flash. I should go back and rewatch all of those series, as well as Gotham. But enough about DC, we're talking about Transformers here. So I do have some taglines. They're not as much as the other ones that we've talked
There's
about.
like 4 of them.
Yeah, so it's their war, our world.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's a play on War of the Worlds. Interesting.
kind of, yeah.
Maybe.
You haven't seen it all until you've seen it in IMAX.
It's not even a tagline. That tells me nothing about. You could say you could slap on any movie that has IMAX.
Well,
in it.
yeah, but like, especially with that, it's like they have the IMAX posters.
I know they
So-
do, but like,
And it's a different poster, so it would have a different tagline for it, but still. This July, our world will be transformed. So, and then last one we have is, most have come to destroy us, some have come to protect us. But I think that the biggest one is their war, our world.
what I always think of, like, when I look at the movie posters for Transformers, is that there's one poster that has Optimus on it and it says protect.
Yeah.
And there's one
And
that
then
has
Megatron.
Megatron and it says destroy.
Yeah.
So
Those
are
are
the ones,
like the character
and
posters.
like they even mention there's more that meets the eye.
Yeah.
Like that is the tagline for Transformers.
Yeah.
Is
more than meets the
more
eye.
that meets the eye.
Or robots in disguise.
Robots in disguise. Yes.
There's like a few of them that they're out there. It's like robots in disguise, more than meets the eye. And they also like say those references in this movie too. Like,
yeah, but they're kind of shoehorned in.
yeah,
a little
they
bit.
are shoehorned because
it's pretty cheesy.
Sam takes Michaela home,
Oh my
and then he
God.
goes like, yeah, you are more than meets the eye, because she goes like, do you think I'm shallow? He goes like, well, you are more than meets the eye, I guess. And I'm just like, what? Why would you use that quote in this movie like that? Like, why would you do that?
And then Optimus uses it at the very end of the film too.
Yeah. So, and like, they never say, like, obviously, he does say roll out, but he doesn't say Transformers, like, transform and roll out.
Autobots.
But he just says roll out.
No, I believe he does say Autobots roll out.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, like, transform and roll out, because that's what he says in the series.
Yeah, I know it is, but like, roll. That's just as good for me.
Well, yeah.
I feel like just saying roll out.
Yeah. And then what was the... Oh, more than meets the eye. It's like, he says that quote, like you said at the
At
end.
the very end.
It's all like, the humans, they are more than meets the eye. And it's all like, why? You're supposed to be more than meets the eye, because you're a transformer. You transform into a giant robot
No, we're
to
not
a car.
more than meets the eye.
So we're
talking about more than meets the eye.
fleshy. We're meat bags.
There's less than
like,
meets the eye.
Yeah.
Really.
Like, okay, yeah, we have sheer will. Okay, that's great, but I can't transform into a
I
fucking
have seen their
helicopter.
capacity for courage.
It's like, oh, drink water. I don't know.
They do say like us. There's more that meets the eye. So like there's more that meets the eye
Like
about
us.
Yeah.
And it's all like, shut up.
Shut up. Quiet.
But now I'll actually dive more into the movie.
Yeah.
So I oh my god, like the beginning part of this was nostalgic for me, just because of like having the logos come in and
Yeah.
having them sound like the robotic noises.
The sound
man.
design in this movie is so good.
Which, of course, throughout this whole thing, I will also be adding in clips, which is great because this is a movie that I actually really, 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 really enjoy. So, get ready. Like now.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Now.
Make your dreams come true.
But yeah, and then especially because like I saw this on TikTok like maybe about a month ago where it was like these clips of the Transformers transforming.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, yes, like it got me so hyped for watching this that I remembered. I'm all like, dude, the sound design for the Transformers transforming, oh my god. Like
it's also just really fun to look at, like visually.
Yeah.
Like this is 2007 CGI.
Yeah, and it still holds up for the most part.
They
like, obviously,
put so much into the budget.
It's not real, but it's like no, they make it real as much as they can.
It looks real enough.
Like there's a couple times like where Sam falls off the building and then Optimus catches him.
Yeah.
Towards the end with the Allspark, and it's like that's clearly like not him like on a rig or anything like that, but eventually he is like on a rig or whatever, to make it seem like that Optimus is actually holding him in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just like him standing on a box on a green screen where like Optimus is holding him in his hand or something like that.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of practical effects in this film.
Yeah, and especially like maybe like halfway through the movie when Sector 7 take Bumblebee and like they're trying to freeze him with the like blast him with the ice spray, and like he's just he's just rolling around on the ground because of the helicopters. But like no, that's an actual robot. Like it's fake, but like it doesn't move, but like they literally built that. And that's what I appreciated, like, was for some of the scenes that they had practical effects, and then most of it is CGI, but like no, like the CGI holds up even today in 2025.
Yes,
like it's great.
There was a lot of effort put into this,
and it's almost 20 years old. That's crazy. Like there's some movies that it's just like, man, that was 20 years ago. It doesn't hold up. But there are some like there's still Jurassic Park, which the CGI still holds up to where it's just like, that's a real dinosaur. Holy shit, like that's real. And it's like it's not, but like,
and then you have
it's cool.
Then you have the Matrix.
Yeah, then you have the Matrix where it's like the second one where it's like, okay, this is a little far fetched. Use too much CGI.
A little too much.
It looks like rubber. Okay, it looks like rubber people. It's not great.
Again, you can't say that Michael Bay did not, like in the sound visual designers, that they didn't try.
Yeah,
they tried.
They went
so
hard for this.
Hard on this film.
They're like, hey, we want you guys to make a Transformers movie. Okay, and then they just made one of the best movies in the franchise, hands down.
Oh, I'd say it's the best one.
Yeah,
but because like the thing
because
about
like we were
Michael
talking
Bay,
about this yesterday, Thursday, something like that.
Maybe.
So like how like that I saw the third one, and then you said like, oh yeah, it's the first one, third one, second one, and then the rest of them. So
no, I said like the first and third ones are good.
Well, yeah,
everything else sucks.
Yeah,
like
which now that we started Transformers, eventually we got to talk about.
No, we don't.
Dark of the Moon.
No, the hell. I mean, we can talk about Dark of the Moon. But don't make me watch.
It's Revenge of the Fallen. That's
don't
what
make me watch Revenge of the Fallen.
No, we'll watch Revenge of the Fallen.
No, don't make me watch Revenge of the Fallen. Don't make me watch The Last Night. God, those movies are just like they're slop.
Okay, because I'll do a deal with you for the franchise. We'll do the first 3, but we won't do the rest of them.
Okay, don't make me watch 4 and 5. I'll agree to that because there's some
like,
cool things about
like we can talk about Bumblebee because that one's pretty good. That one's all right.
Bumblebee is good.
Transformers 1, obviously, because
I'm talking about the Bay. I'm talking about the Bay movies.
Oh yeah. Which I don't think that it's not Beast Wars. Rise of the Beasts. I don't think that one was Michael Bay.
No, it was not.
But we can talk about that one though. That one's pretty.
That one was good. Transformers 1 is obviously amazing.
Like a goat.
Very good.
This movie is the goat. So, but. Yeah, I love the opening sequence where Blackout, he comes in, and so like the military is just like, hey, yeah, so like this helicopter got shot down like a month ago. He
Yeah,
goes
it's like-
like, okay, well, like the commanding officer goes like, okay, well, check it, recheck it, and then check it again. He goes like, I already did. My buddy was on that helicopter
my friend
and
was
he
on that
died.
chopper, yeah.
And he goes like, okay, and then like,
'Cause-
then it touches down, and like, I love the inconsistency with the lighting for the sun, because
Yeah.
like by the time the helicopter like touches down, like it's coming, and then it's like sunset.
And then,
And
it's
then when
like,
it lands, it's like
nighttime.
it's nighttime.
It's
But
pitch
then
black.
when Josh Duhamel is talking to his wife on the computer on webcam, then it's still like sunset.
Yeah.
It's like maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it
when
does
the
get
sun
pretty dark
is setting,
for, like,
and then
whatever
all of a
reason.
sudden now it's nighttime, and it's just like, what? I did see that when I was doing my note setup and everything from IMDb, that like they said like a goof, and like that was the first thing that popped up was like, oh yeah, the inconsistency with the sun is like in 2 different scenes, was in that one and another one that I don't remember, but yeah, so like they're like, hey, if you don't power down, we will kill you, and then so the blades are still spinning. And then as soon as they just immediately stop, you're like, oh, fuck. And then it transforms. Like, the first initial transforms, when he initially transform, well, now I can say transforms, plural. Let me gain my thoughts here. So when he first initially transforms, like, they have the old school, like,
Yeah.
like that sound effect. I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like they do that a couple times. Like they do it for Blackout and originally in the beginning part of the movie, and then they do it later on when they're in Sector 7.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's his face gives him his phone, and he's just like
He puts it in the box. Yeah.
And then it transforms like that. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool.
That is a cool homage. I'm glad they did that because, like, but then the sound design turns to a more realistic, of like whirring and like clanging of metal and stuff like that. It's like
and especially when Optimus transforms and like his tires are spinning and then they
Yeah.
just like stop.
that
Like,
is a really cool effect. Like the thing I like the most about this is like Blackout. Like he kind of takes it literally. If I remember, is like they ask him to get out of the vehicle, right? And the cool thing about Decepticons in this film is that Decepticons disguises are very purposeful,
Yeah.
right? When they invade Earth, they're there to hide, and they're there to specifically like blend in. And the way they do that is like if they take on a vehicle, like a helicopter,
Yeah.
the pilot's fake.
Oh, yeah.
The pilot is a projection.
Yeah.
Which they don't usually do that, like in the other forms of Transformer media.
Yeah.
Like, they do it a couple times, but like this is the first time you see like, oh, that's how they like blend in even more, because like, yeah, a helicopter with no pilot would look very, 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 very suspicious.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then he turns it off and like, yeah,
Because like especially when you have like the fake pilot where he's like looking around and then you can see his face
so they
like a shimmer and
Yeah.
like it's like
that lets you know that like, oh, something's not going wrong here. And they tell him to get out of his vehicle. So like Blackout's like, okay, so he
Yeah.
turns into a robot.
yeah,
and-
like that I thought was like really cool just to set this whole thing off. Was like Blackout touches down and then like they're like, okay, like power down or be destroyed, and so he's like, okay, so then immediately, like I said, like the blades just stop and then they start moving and you're like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
So
It's a really cool effect. It goes to show like they wanted the Decepticons to be scary.
Yeah.
In this film,
Oh,
they
yeah.
wanted them to be frightening.
and especially when he transforms into his robot self and then he releases an EMP blast.
Yes.
Just to scramble their stuff, and it's like, dude, like nobody else would have thought of that. Like he was like, you know what? I'm just going to release an EMP blast, and then that way all of your technology is wiped out. Now it doesn't work. So
Yeah, because they could have just made him like stomp around and like destroy things,
shoot
and it's like
stuff and whatever.
that's lame. But like
Yeah.
it makes it seem like more calculated in
Yeah.
that way to make it sound like the Decepticons are supposed to be smart.
oh yeah,
And they're supposed to be scary in this
Yeah.
film, as
And
opposed
that's what
to
they are.
in the original, like the original media. Decepticons are not smart.
no, They're really dumb. They're clumsy. They fall over each other.
Really, there's only like 3 Decepticons who are intelligent. The rest of them are kind of just like dimwits.
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of like goofballs.
Because like there's Megatron, Soundwave, and Starscream, which are like the 3
I would say
big baddies of the Transformers.
I would say the three smartest Decepticons are probably Megatron, Shockwave, and Soundwave.
Yeah. The smartest.
Starscream is like he's cowardly and he's a little bit intelligent, but like he's kind of a dumbass.
Well, yeah, because like every single time that Megatron would be like, "Oh, go and kill the Transformers or the Autobots," and he's like, "Okay," and then he comes back and he gets his ass kicked, and he goes like, "Oh, you can't even do anything right, can you?" And just like he goes like, "Fine, I'll do it myself," like Thanos.
Yeah, basically.
And he's just like, "You're an idiot." Like, and then, but like when Megatron gets his ass kicked, and then Starscream just goes like, "You know what? I'm going to be in charge." And so like eventually he becomes King Starscream, which is awesome because I remember that I had a friend that had the Starscream Transformer, and it was huge. Like it was big. And like he had his crown and everything. Like he had his weapons, his crown. Like it was really, really cool. And like I had a few Transformers growing up. Like I had
so many.
Yeah, like I had one where there was this combo pack that was like 2 twin brothers that were jets. And one was blue, one was orange, and like they were twins, and so you can actually put them together to make one big huge like freaking plane. And then I think I might have also had Megatron. I can't remember, but like it was a Decepticon that was like a plane or a jet of some kind, because I remember that like on the top he had like turrets that he can move around and stuff. And like it was purple and everything. Like it was really, really cool.
It might have been Shockwave.
It might have been Shockwave. I can't remember specifically, but like I think so, because it was purple and orange. Because like but like the top of the jet was like black, like matte black and stuff. So it was really cool looking. But I did have Optimus Primal as a Transformer, because like the gorilla. So I was like, oh man, it's Optimus Prime, because like, at the time I didn't know who he was. So it's like Optimus Primal. And then like I had like a bunch of them. I also had the mini ones. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but like they would also go with the Transformers too. Like eventually they had like these mini Transformers where they would be attached to the actual Transformer, like the big one, and like it would be like their little helper. So kind of like with Soundwave, where he would turn into a boombox.
Yeah, and all his little cassettes would be the little, like Frenzy and Rumble and
so like that's what it was.
And Laserbeak, those are all his 4.
Yeah, so like you could literally put the tapes in the cassette player.
And then in this film, Blackout has Scorponok.
Yeah.
Which is also really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like robot scorpion, like that just like comes out of his back and like digs in the like sand. Is like it's
and
not
then
even
goes after the soldiers. Yeah, like that was a really cool sequence, and especially where like I saw another Transformers edit on TikTok like around that same time where it's like nothing gets you more hyped than hearing the music behind like the military making their battle plan to like take out Scorponok. And like somebody said like, dude, like I almost joined the military for this scene specifically, and like nothing would get you more hyped about like joining the military than that scene right there.
Who's closer to Killbox 1 Alpha? Send the Hogs, sir. Okay, send the Hogs over to Killbox 1 Alpha. It's a danger.
Well, that's the interesting part about the portrayal of the military in game. Like, you know this, right? Where if the U.S. military is shown in any film whatsoever, a representative from the government, the Army, like Navy, Marines, Air Force, like a representative from like the military must be present to make sure that the military is represented properly. To like make sure that like they're not like
basically that they're not being assholes or they're portrayed in a different way than they actually are.
Yeah, right. So like that might have like there's a lot of propaganda of the military industrial complex in these films.
Yeah.
Specifically in this one, there's a lot of scenes that portray at day-to-day military operations.
Yeah.
So you know that there were several probably inspirations from like actual the military to make sure that everything was done correctly.
Right.
So that was probably the intention. Like, hey, can you make this look a little bit cool here? We wanna just show that like, oh, it's cool to be like a soldier in the military, because like this is the Iraq War still going on.
Yeah.
And
because I mean, you have John Voight, who plays as the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
So like, he would be the representative to tackle this kind of a situation, because like we're on the defense, so we have to like be on the offense to actually go after whoever is attacking us.
Yeah.
Because originally, when this stuff is happening, they don't know what it is. They just know that it's some sort of intelligence that's hacking into their servers.
Right.
So
because like Blackout comes to the base in Qatar.
Yeah.
Right. Or Qatar. They say Qatar in the movie.
Yeah.
To like steal files, right?
Yeah.
Basically, like
he
attaches his hand to like a mainframe in one of the buildings and like he sucks out the information, but he stopped
because they cut the hard line for it.
Yeah, they cut the hard line. I need a key. It's locked.
Yeah. And then the general comes up with an axe and just goes like wham, like that's
but
great.
But Starscream destroys the base.
Oh yeah.
Almost no survivors.
Yeah.
Apart from the one squad, which by the way, the squad was like talking, average military banter like before the movie's like.
Yeah, because like they're in the plane and then they're
about
like
to go home. It's like it's kind of like that scene in one of the X-Men films where like they're about to go home from war. It's like, nope, we got one more mission for you. Yeah. No, it's not X-Men. It's Kong Skull Island.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's that average man was like,
I can't
wait to go home and eat my mama's grand alligator etouffee.
And he goes like, dude, I've been hearing you talk about your mom's alligator soup for like ever. Like I'm never going to your mom's house. Like I am telling you that right now. Like that is just like awesome banter, because that's what they would generically talk about too. Of course, like, dude, I can't wait to get home. And especially where it's like the guy with the glasses, where he's talking about like, yeah, I can't wait to go to a ballpark, have a cold hot dog and a stale beer.
Yeah.
And then they ask Josh Duhamel, like, what's your perfect day? And he goes like, I just can't wait to get home and actually hold my baby.
Yeah.
So like that's all I want.
That banter was nice. I did like that little bit of dialogue.
And it actually connects them as like family.
It almost makes you
friends, because they have that bond with each other. Like especially where Tyrese Gibson talks to the Spanish guy, where he goes like like, dude, like I'm not coming to your mom's house for cooking. Like I swear I'm not doing that.
It's like, speak English, dude.
Yeah, and
English.
like he's speaking Spanish sometimes, and they're like even Josh Duhamel, he just goes like, dude, like we told you like a few times, like you gotta speak, like we don't speak Spanish. So
I almost wish that Josh Duhamel, what's his name? What's the character's name? I forget.
I still have him pulled up. Captain Lennox.
I wish.
So
I almost
Lennox,
wish that Lennox
and then Epps is
was
Tyrese.
the main character of this film.
Yeah.
Because like I wish it was just
because we're first introduced to that squad.
I wish it just followed this squad, but no, we get to go to like
Sam.
We
get to be Shia LaBeouf from his point of view. And speaking of, one of my favorite things is him in the classroom. Like he's in the 11th grade, and he goes like, "Hey, so for my project for my ancestry, whatever bullshit, like I decided to do my great grandfather,
Captain Archibald Witwicky.
Yeah, who is the reason why that this movie is even a thing, is because that his grandfather discovered the Megatron and the Allspark, and that's why they created Sector 7 in the first place." But
he really went up there to to explore the Arctic Circle, and then we get to see a scene of them like breaking the ship out of the ice, and he's like, "No sacrifice, no victory."
Right, and
we'll make it to the Arctic Circle.
And it was funny too, because like during his presentation, he's like, "Hey, like I got all my stuff up from my grandfather's like up on eBay. Check it out." Like and then like even his teachers are like, "Hey, like come on, like you got to do your project." And he goes, all right, I got it. And then especially at the end when the class is dismissed, and he goes like 50, 40, 30, and so his teacher goes like, Sam, and he goes like, yeah, sorry.
He's he's such a bastard, Sam.
Yeah.
He's not Sam Witwicky is not a good person.
He's not.
He is the surrogate audience member in this film.
100%.
He is a fantasy fulfillment character in this. Like the thing we see about Sam is that what we can tell from this scene is that Sam is broke.
Oh yeah.
So he's so broke that he needs to auction off
and it's
family heirlooms.
Yeah.
To members of his own class during his presentation. He's so desperate for money.
Right. And it's only because of the fact that, like, we find out the reason for this is because that, like, he starts talking to his teacher about his project, and he goes, like, I'd give it a B-. And he goes, like, B-. And so...
like, you're hawking your grandfather's crap in my classroom.
Right. And then so he was talking about, like, that he needed the money to, like, get a car.
Get a car.
And because, like, when you're in high school... It's like, okay, I get the car, and then I get the girl, and then I get the girl, and then I get to have sex. And that's, like, the whole, like, plot. Not the plot of the movie or anything like that, but, like, you as a kid, that's basically what you think. Like, okay, if I get a car, then I can get a girl. And then if I get a girl, then I can have a girlfriend, and then I can do whatever I want with. But, like, this scene was hilarious because he was just like, oh, you're giving me a B-. He goes like, all right, I needed 2 things for my dad to help me get a car. I needed $2,000, which I have the $2,000, and 3 A's.
I need 3 A's.
And your B-, like, yeah, dream. He goes like, you're crushing a boy's dream. Okay, here's the dream. Dream gone because you're a B-.
And sir, let me ask you,
what would Jesus do? I have that written down. He goes like
I like how the teacher gives him goes from a B- to an A-. Like,
right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like a whole grade up. And he just goes like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I don't care. Just get out of my face. Like, this really means a lot to you. I don't fucking care. Just get out of my class.
Like, Sam's not smart enough to be able to, like, get like a decent grade on his own.
Yeah.
He does no money.
Right.
It's like, do you think it's like who's watching this movie? It's like guys in high school or like guys in like middle school. You know, like wow.
Because like it's about Transformers,
He
and then
just
you
like
have to
me
have that
for
human,
real.
Yeah, it's like you need the human element, but you kind of have to have him be a little bit of a shithead. Because like even when his dad
you don't have to
drives.
Like,
but you don't have to make.
You don't
him
have
a
to go
shithead.
that far to be like, oh, I'm auctioning off my family heirlooms in class for
but like
money.
nobody thinks about it that way either. Of going like, well, he's like selling his grandfather's like stuff. It's like that's not cool.
To be fair, he didn't realize that like his glasses were not like an ancient alien artifact. That is, like
they're just a pair of glasses. So like they're from like I don't know whatever era, like the 1800s, something 1900s. I don't know.
Probably the early 1900s.
Probably because like great grandfather. So yeah, something like that. Maybe not mid 1900s, not 1950s.
Late 1800s, maybe early 1900s.
Right, something like that. But but yeah, I did love the fact that like his dad drives him through the Porsche dealership.
That's crazy.
And then pulls it off.
That's
and he
insane.
goes like, "No way! Like this isn't happening." He goes like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You're not getting a Porsche." And so he's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Because he's only giving him $4,000 to like
because he's giving because like Sam has 2,000. His dad is gonna do the other 2,000. So he does half the
crazy.
car.
Like $4,000 would be like barely enough to cover a down payment now, but like he's going to like buy a crappy car, like buy like not leasing, like that's
just to buy a used car.
This movie is in 2007, back when you could buy cars
for like $4,000
with cash, even like the shittiest car,
right?
And
but yeah, the introduction to Bernie Mac in this scene, oh my god, like it's so great, like. Oh my god, like this whole sequence was hilarious because of Bernie Mac's charisma and everything.
Yeah.
Like what was his name? I think it was like Bernie B or something like that.
Bobby B.
Yeah, Bobby B.
It's Bobby B.
So and
Bobby
like
B.
especially where they're first like interacting with him where he goes like, "Oh yeah, I'm your Uncle Bobby B." Like
Uncle Bobby B, baby.
And like especially when he sticks his head out the window and he goes like, "Manny, go get your clown cousin," like because he's in the clown costume again getting heat stroke. And he goes like, "The makeup's melting and it makes my eyes burn." Like, well, I actually have it written down.
It hurt my eyes.
Yeah.
Hey! Get your cousin out that damn clown suit. Having a heat stroke again. Again, white folk.
I'm hot, makeup's melting, hurts my eyes.
That's what it is.
At first, I couldn't.
He goes like, your cousin's having a stroke again. Get him out of that clown costume.
Yeah, your clown cousin come bang out these ham.
Yeah, like
Hang this out, baby.
like it's hilarious, and then like especially where he's like next door is like his grandma's house, and he goes like, "Yeah, that's my mammy right there. Hey, mammy!" And so she just like flips him off, and so he goes like, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'd bust your ass, bitch."
That's my mammy.
Hey, mammy! Oh, don't be like that. If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch. Say, man, she deaf, you know?
Yeah, she deaf.
Yeah, she deaf. Like, I love his laugh, too.
Like,
but
what's crazy is, like, you see, it's cool because you see Sam and his dad driving into the car lot.
Yeah, and also at the same time, Bumblebee is also rolling in, too.
And it's like...
But it's crazy, too, because, like, Bumblebee had his own movie, so it was an origin, and it was before this one. So like he wasn't the Camaro, he was actually like the Bug in in Bumblebee, and then at the end of it, he transforms into the Camaro that he rolls in with.
Like there's a comic that comes out to like explain what Bumblebee was doing before the events of this movie. I think so, yeah. And like it's non-canon, but like in the Transformers video game, you do a little bit of what happens before Bumblebee meets Sam.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a nice touch in Bumblebee to have them transform into the Camaro, but now...
Yeah, because then it links up to where it's going to be, like, in the first Transformers movie. So,
like, the fact that Bumblebee is able to drive in and just, like, park in, I love
without
this line.
anybody noticing or anything.
In the trailers for this movie, like, you get to see a little bit of what Bobby B is saying is, like, you know...
The driver
will pick the car. The car picks the driver. It's a mystical bond between man and machine, and you see like that one scene.
And then where he like
running his hand over the horn, and you see the Autobot symbol when he sits in
and like the lens
Camaro.
flare. Oh my god, it's so cool.
It is a really cool visual shot.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like wow. I know that symbol. Like who
it's like oh man, there's a Transformer. Like that's great.
Yeah, that car's a Transformer.
Yeah, like and especially where like he doesn't know anything about the car, but he just goes like, well, given the fact of like this thing, that thing, and then like the custom paint job, and he goes like,
well,
but
the
it's
paint's
faded. He goes like, yeah, it's custom faded.
Custom faded?
Right.
It's your first car. I wouldn't have you understand.
Right. And he goes like, I'm not asking for more than $5,000.
$5,000. And he's like, I'm only paying before.
Yeah.
No, kid, get out of the car.
Yeah.
But you said cars pick your drivers. Like,
yeah, but not for a car with a cheap ass father. So get out the car. And then he was like, but that one over there, like blah blah, like what was it, the Fiat, I think, or something? No, it wasn't a Fiat. It was something else. But
whatever. It's another car.
Yeah, it's another car. It's got racing stripes too. But he goes like, yeah, but I want this car. And then Bumblebee, like. Sam closes the door, and then the passenger door opens and knocks into the bug
that was
next
right
to it.
Yeah, it's like,
and then that's when like you said the thing where he
that's
goes
funny
like,
that it's
"Oh
a
yeah,
bug."
Yeah,
I just realized that. Like, yeah, it's a bug. It's like,
and it's a yellow bug too.
Like,
so like that's a subtle nod to him being actual Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah, but like in even in the original Transformers, Bumblebee has always been a bug. Right. Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So like it was a subtle nod to him being the Beetle Bug. So, but
and then
he goes like, well, you see that car over there, and then like Bumblebee turns on the radio, and then a subsonic screech happens
like
to where it breaks all the weapons, or the windows.
Oh, the windows.
And then he goes like 4,000.
Yeah.
So
he looks around like the bassy sound that comes like
4,000. Because he just goes like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. But yeah, because like I don't know. Do we really care about like any of the military stuff that happens in the movie?
I mean,
for the most part,
we should talk about it, like
because like all they're doing is just like trying to figure out like where the sound is coming from and like who's hacking into the system or whatever.
They hire a lot of analysts to be able to determine where the sound is coming from and who's attacking us. Because like at this point, they just think it's another country.
Right? They're like, who is it? North Korea? Is it like is it the Koreans? Is it the Russians? Is it Chinese? Like who is it? And so like they're getting a team of analysts together to find out who is making the sound, or they discover that it's a part of a sound and stuff. But
well, we have to talk about the military because eventually that leads into, because they like at the same time that this is happening, the next scene is like is a scene on Air Force One.
Well, yeah, I'm meaning like them send stuff up for military assets and stuff like that, trying to figure out who's doing it.
Yeah,
I really didn't care that much about, like, obviously it's a necessary thing to be in the movie to have the plot point go forward with the military and stuff like that.
We can talk
like
a little bit about it, I think, but we don't have to like discuss every single scene, because basically it's just like they're trying to decipher, and then they crack the code because somebody, like, they hack into the mainframe again, and
right?
It's the same wavelength. They ought to have, it's either sound engineers or sound analysts to be able to like track it again. And it's eventually they find, when the analyst is the girl analyst basically finds out that like, oh, like this is not a country, this is something else. Yeah. And it's like what if it's a living organism?
Like it might be like it might be like an organism that's doing it.
They don't believe her.
Not like a virus or anything. But yeah, because eventually, like after the whole military spiel of whatever and blah blah blah, like we have Sam going to the lake. I think that's what it is, or like a park.
Yeah,
where the rest of the kids are hanging out at, and like Michaela's boyfriend is kind of being a dick, and he recognizes Sam. And he goes like, "Hey, you tried out for the football team last year, didn't you?" And like it cuts to him like getting tackled, and then like the coach goes like, "Let's go call your mom."
You tried out for the football team last year, right? Let's go call your mom.
And he goes like, "No, that wasn't an actual tryout. Like I was just researching for a book." And he goes like, "Oh yeah, what's it about?" He goes like, "Oh, it's about the human brain to football and stuff like that." And he goes like, "Oh no, you and your friends will love it. Like it's got coloring pages, it's got pop-up pictures." It was like, "You guys will love it." And so he goes like, "Oh yeah, is that right?" And Michaela gets in the middle of them and goes like, "Hey, like you need to cool down." And Sam's friend, who we never see after this at all.
Yeah, because he dumps immediately for when he gets it.
Well, like we see him like one other time, and that's him talking over the phone with him. But other than that, throughout the rest of the series, he's never talked about or referenced at all.
Yeah, because Michaela takes his place basically. Yeah. Like, he was only hanging out with him just so he could like go to this party and so he could talk to Michaela.
Right.
Because like he ditches him.
Oh yeah,
he ditches him at this party.
Because like Michaela goes like, "Hey, why don't I drive the truck?" And he goes like, "With these 22s, nah, that's okay." Like,
and
no,
you
can like, why doesn't my little bunny just get in the back seat? And so she goes like, "Oh, well, I hate to tell you, I'm not your little bunny.
How much I'm not your little bunny."
And then she leaves. And then so Sam just goes like, "Hey, get the fuck out of the car so I can go get some pussy."
No, it's crazy because like Bumblebee turns on the radio. It's like, "Hey, what's going on your radio?" And it's like, "I think I need to take her home."
Yeah.
Like, what? So I need you to get out of the car.
Right.
You gotta get out of the car.
Right. And so he kicks him out and goes to pick her up. And he goes like, "Hey, I'm not trying to be a creep or nothing, but like I just got this car, but I want to take you home."
Oh no, it was like, I was wondering if I could ride you home.
Yeah.
Like, no, I could ride you home.
Like,
give you a ride home.
Yeah, give you a
my
ride
car.
home.
It's so awkward.
And it's all like, I give Megan Fox a ride home.
She was 17 in this film. Slow your roll there
not in this movie, God.
No, but she is. She's
I know.
She's a teenager.
I
in
know,
this film.
but I'm not saying that in the context of me being 30 now. Michaela, and it's like, I would do that when she was no.
Yeah.
God, no. At the time, I was like, yeah, I'd love to like fucking ride her home. Like that would be awesome. Like me being 15 at the time.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a bit.
Maybe I was 15. I don't know. I can't remember. But
speaking of Michaela, you know.
But yeah, like. They're driving along, and so she's all like, "Yeah, like I don't know what it is. Like I have a weakness for like guys with
hot guys
with big muscles and like tight abs." And then he goes like, "Well, you know, I just recently got like a disco ball and like a light. I'm gonna put in a light that's gonna reflect the light off the disco ball." Like he's flexing his arm. And I'm like, "That's funny." And then so she's like, "What?"
And it's like they had never spoken before this point.
Oh yeah, because then she goes like, "Oh yeah, you're Sam, right?" She goes like, "Yeah." And
Sam Will Cookie.
Yeah.
Like, no,
and he's like, Witwicky. And then she was all like, "Is this your first year to the school?" And he goes like, "No, we've actually been in the same school since like the first grade."
Yeah, it's like.
And it's like, "Oh, really? Like, what class do we have?" He goes like, "Pretty much all of them." And so she goes like, "Oh, yeah, Sam, Milwaukee," and she goes, and he goes like Woodwicky.
Woodwicky,
he goes
yeah,
like whatever.
Yeah.
Like and there's about a few times to where like they mispronounce like the last name when Agent Simmons comes in and he goes like Milwaukee and he goes like it's Woodwicky. Like, what do you want? And like that, but Bumblebee basically tries to get them attracted to each other.
Yeah, so, like,
because he turns off the car and then they go
which
up
is really
to the
weird for a kid you just met.
right. And so then they roll up to the hill, like the side of the cliff. It looks like a cliff, where she goes like, "All right, just like pop the hood." And so the whole time he's like scrounging around his words, and he just goes like, where he's just like, you know, I'm not trying to be a romantic friend like that, but like if you want me to be, I can. But like, you know, I'm not trying to be that way. So like, blah 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 blah. And like he's freaking out.
Some like romantic music comes up on the radio.
Yeah, and stuff. But like she goes like, okay, just pop the hood. He goes like, okay, I'll pop the hood. So
he's like slamming the radio,
and it's like a brand new, like it's a shitty Camaro, but it's a brand new engine.
It's like a. What was she like? It's like a V10 carburetor or like
I
a
think
V12 carburetor,
something like that.
Like what was that? It was like,
and so he goes like, "Well, what does that mean?" He pumps fuel into the engine to make it go faster.
Yeah.
And so it's all like, "Oh man!" And especially where it's all like him just looking at her,
like looking at her stomach. It's like
and stuff. And it's just like it's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, Sam! Let's fucking get it!" And she was like, yeah, your distributor cap's a little loose, starts like banging on it, like a little pushing on it. And they finally get it up, and like she goes to walk away. He goes like, come on, please, 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 please. And then finally
like the car doesn't start. She's like, I think I'm just going to walk home.
Yeah. He goes like, yeah, walking's healthy, you know, like whatever. And he goes like, come on, start. And it finally actually fires up, and he goes like, yeah.
Oh, he's such an asshole.
Right. He goes like, he spins around and shit. Like, it's awesome. But
and then
but then we get to Air Force One.
No. Before we do that, we have to cover the scene of when he finally drops her off and just like, do you think I'm shallow?
Yeah,
like,
and then he just goes like, no, you are more than meets the eye.
Meets the eye with you.
Yeah, and she goes like, oh, okay.
After he says it, he immediately realizes it was lame.
Yeah, and he goes like, more than meets the eye? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, we know, dude. We know it was lame.
Yeah, it's like worst pickup line ever.
And then we
do Air Force One. I love the fact that they got George Bush in there, like George Bush.
Like it's assumed to be George Bush. This movie was probably filmed in like 2006.
Yeah.
So
like he was president at that time, but like one of the stewardess asks like, hey, is there anything like you need, sir? And he goes like, hey, can you wrestle me up some ding dongs, honey?
You wrestle me up some ding dongs, darling.
Yeah, can you wrangle me up some ding dongs, darling?
Yeah, and then so she goes like, okay, and then so. Yeah, and so she talks to another one of the girls and goes like, yeah, I work on Air Force One just to get the man ding-dongs. Like,
I'll be in storage.
Yeah, and at the same time, we've got Frenzy, who's on there, who transforms into a boombox.
Yeah.
And
it's just on the elevator. She picks it up, and she's
all like,
realize what it is. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So she just puts it down in storage.
And then she gets some ding-dongs. She unwraps one, goes to eat it, and drops out of her hand.
Oh shoot! Because like,
but I think it's funny too because like she goes to like pick it up and then Frenzy's just standing there. He's like, "Don't look at me." He's kind of trying to be sneaky.
He is kind of like camouflaged in with the metal
with the metal piping and stuff. But yeah, then she picks it up, dusts off the ding dong, takes the bite, and goes like, "Oh, gross." And I'm like, "What do you mean that it's gross?"
Yeah, it's gross. You picked it off the floor.
Like. Even for me, like, I'm not going to say that I've ever done this, like, picked up a ding-dong off the floor, but, like, if that were to happen to me, like, I would have been like, tastes fine. Like, you don't immediately just go like, it's gross. Like,
maybe she doesn't like ding-dongs.
Sure, if... apparently, well, it is Pride Month after all, so, you know, like, go Queen.
What? What are you talking... What?
Insinuating that she might be lesbian because you said that she doesn't like ding-dongs, so...
Oh my goodness!
It was a bit, Jack. Okay, it was a joke.
Can we talk about this film?
Get on with the bits, okay? Get up to my level with these bits, okay? But yeah, so now Frenzy has open way to actually like hack into the system. But I think it's also really funny that with Frenzy, when he hears people laughing, like he's kind of a schizo, right?
Yeah.
Because like he's just like very quick. And everything, but then like he hears people laughing and he goes like, "Ah!" and like has his machine gun out.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, "What's going on?" And like thinking that somebody's there. But yeah, and he's hacking into the system. But then the Central Intelligence realizes that they're being hacked into the system. Well, rather the girl does. who was it? Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie can hear that they're hacking into the system again, and it's the same like frequency. And so she goes like, hey, like we need a senior officer over here because they're hacking into the system again. And so they're like, okay, well, we got to cut the hard lines. So then there's a couple of agents that go down into the storeroom, and then they cut the line, and like he's at what 96%
He,
of being
like, bangs
downloaded.
his head on the-
Yeah, and it's like he bangs his head and it like sparks. I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. But Secret Service comes down, and then they go to shoot at him, but then he throws out like ninja stars.
Yeah.
So
Like a couple guys
which
are
is
dead.
great.
Off, like what?
So
What really bugs me about some of the Decepticons in this film is that like there's only 2 of them in the film that like speak.
yeah,
Which is
the
like,
rest of them
it's
speak like
one
an
thing
alien
to
language.
make the Decepticon designs more like scary and like intimidating.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to like, okay, so now the Decepticons are just like alien. They're just aliens that don't
right.
speak English.
Well, I mean, like even with Optimus Prime, like Sam asks him like, where did you guys learn to speak like us? And he goes like, from the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like a few of them just don't care to learn to speak English or to speak any language for
I
that matter
guess.
besides their own. It's all like because like they're Decepticons, they're just there just to fuck shit up, and who gives a shit.
Frenzy's design
So-
is like really freaky in this film.
It is because it's basically kind of like a humanoid cyborg almost.
Yeah.
But like,
It's like-
the fact that when they finally touch down and then he's by the wheel and like there's wasn't a bunch of agents around, and he's like walking past, he's like
Yeah.
like he gets in the cop car and he's telling what's his face, I have it written down, Barricade. Where he starts telling Barricade, he goes like, yeah, like I almost got all of the stuff, like we gotta find Woodwiki and all this bunch of stuff, and like he goes by Ladies Man 217 so on eBay and whatever. So but then later we have like where Bumblebee like basically steals himself
Yeah, he like
in the
drives
middle of the
away.
night, and where he finally like Sam finally sees him transform. And I thought it was funny because like Bumblebee shoots up a Autobot, the Autobot symbol light in the sky, and I just go like, oh yeah, that's the bat signal. Like he does the Autobot's bat signal. He's just like, and it's all like, okay, well that's also hitting the clouds, so I don't know if it'll pierce through the clouds, but whatever. But that was like the only thing just for me to say like, oh, he has his own bat signal.
Yeah.
So for the Autobots to come down. But then we have the Scorponok attack, which is fucking awesome because then you actually have who are they? Lennox and Epps and their squad
Get attacked by
get attacked by Scorponoks, and like yeah, they lose a couple of the guys, but like it's okay.
It's a cool scene
So,
of like
it is,
they
'cause,
call
like,
in
especially-
an AC-130 to do like super big rounds.
Oh
of,
yeah,
like, this
100%. Like
because they don't know what can kill these things yet.
no,
because,
but
like
but like I said, like them with the music and the military talking and stuff like that, like I got so hyped when that scene happened. So
I think it's funny that like they're trying to like contact the Pentagon.
yeah, I was
and
just
they-
gonna say like where
like, they get
Lennox
a
is
cell
on the phone with the Pentagon, and
They have to go through like some sort of third party to like get connection to the United States. Like I don't have a credit card.
yeah,
I don't have a credit card!
Sir, the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
and so he just goes like, sir, like you don't need to shout, just speak calmly into the mouthpiece. And he just goes like, I'm in the middle of a fucking war right now, dude.
I'm in a warrior. It's fucking
And
ridiculous.
then he goes to Epps and he goes like,
Epps, I need a
Epps,
credit card.
and he goes like, all right, like pocket. And
Pocket!
He goes like, which pocket? He
My
goes like, back
back
pocket.
pocket.
He goes like, you
Got
got 10 back pockets.
Left
He goes
cheek,
like, left cheek,
left
left cheek, left cheek. And just starts, he goes back to shooting again.
Hey, what you want? Pocket! Which pocket? My back pocket! You got 10 back pockets! Left cheek! Left cheek! Left cheek!
I'm like,
That's
dude,
Visa.
that is so funny. And that's
No, I
actually
don't want a premium
real.
package.
He goes like, do you want to sign up for the gold premium package? No, I don't want a premium package.
Also, sir, have you heard about our Premium Plus World Service Gold package?
No, I don't want a premium package!
Epps,
And
Pentagon.
then, yeah, he goes like, yeah. As Pentagon throws it, he just goes like, hey, we're here at this location.
I never
like,
seen this before in my life.
Yeah, he goes like, man, if you see this shit, like, oh my god,
if you see this shit.
Like that whole interaction is awesome and hilarious. But they're like, okay, like what the hell's happening? And then they're like, okay, well we got a UAV on the way, and like a drone, essentially. And so they're like, okay, and he goes like, all right, target is going to be left of orange smoke, and throws out an orange grenade or smoke grenade, and they're like, light him up. And then that doesn't work because it's still alive.
Yeah.
It's not dead yet. So they're like, okay, time to bring the heavy rain. And then they have the giant freaking airplane that comes in.
It's an AC-130.
Yeah. And so it's just
like
gunship, unloading both machine gun fire and missile fire.
Yeah, it's like artillery basically.
Yeah,
like these huge shells.
Artillery fire. And it's just like God damn, this is so cool.
Just like a aerial barrage of just like fire. And
yeah.
They eventually find out like what kind of round is needed to be able to kill these things. I forget which round it is like precisely, but it's like anti-tank rounds basically.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then later on, like they're trying to, because like it leaves its tail behind.
Yeah.
Because it falls off, and they're back up on the airship, and they're all like, okay, well it looks like it's like the only thing that can penetrate is like really, really high heat.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, well we'll have to tell our superiors to put on all of the guns super high caliber rounds, or not even caliber rounds, but like super high density rounds.
Yeah.
So
high velocity.
Yeah, because that'll contribute the most amount of heat when you fire it.
Yeah.
Also, after this, we have Maggie, who takes a file of
which she's not supposed to do, and then she takes it to her friend Glenn to analyze.
And so they're at his grandma's house because it's him and his cousin. He's playing
Dance Dance Revolution, isn't he?
Yeah, but I was gonna say like I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in Sinners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the big guy from Sinners.
I haven't seen Sinners yet. Okay.
But yeah, like he was in Sinners. He was also the fat dude in 8 Mile. If you've seen that. Dude, that's awesome. Like that's great. But all this just to basically set up the fact that where he's looking into the coding, and it's all like they're saying like, oh, like what is like who is Witwiki?
It's like Project Iceman. What's Sector 7?
Yeah, and then the FBI run in. It's like, FBI, open up.
FBI, open up.
And
but for me, it's even more like before that she shows up as like Glenn, who is it? Shut up, Grandma.
Go drink your prune juice.
My place of zen and peace.
Listen to me.
Who is? Shut up, Grandma!
Right, will you
Grandma, drink your prune juice.
I drink no prune juice. And he's like, I look at you, have these look something classified.
Yeah.
I was like, how classified? Like I could go to
jail for the rest of my life classified. And he goes like, ooh, let's get it. And like he gets all excited about it. And then
backing in.
Just the fact that when the FBI bursts in and
lock it down.
And like the cousin's all like, hey, I'm just a cousin. They tackle him into the pool.
Like first he breaks through the window. He's like,
he's like, boof. Like,
get off my grandmama's carpet. She
don't want nobody on her carpet, especially police.
She don't like nobody on the carpet, especially police.
But I think it's funny when they originally burst into the room because he's wearing glasses and he starts screaming like his eyes look bigger. Like, oh my gosh. I thought that was hilarious that they emphasized how big his eyes were to get like in that kind of a situation. Oh, so good. But yeah, that whole sequence was just hilarious.
It was very good.
And then we cut to where Bumblebee comes back to Sam's, and Sam is like freaking out, and he goes like, dude, like the guy that stole my car is back, and now he wants to get me. And he takes his mom's bike, and he's riding through like trying to get away from Bumblebee, and then
he hits a crack in the pavement and like
the sidewalk is like broken up.
Yeah, that's why.
So like there's one of the slabs that's broken up.
He
and
eats
so
shit.
He eats shit, flips over the handlebars. Megan Fox is there. Michaela, she's all
right
like,
there.
she's all like, Sam, that was awesome. And he goes like, yeah, that felt awesome. And he drives.
Like, are you okay? It's like, I'm not okay. I'm chasing my car.
Yep, my car's chasing me. I gotta go. And so she rolls up on her moped, but he hides in this like overpass or
it's an abandoned parking garage.
Yeah, with a bunch of like busted up cars and stuff. And then love the fact that Barricade is there.
He's driving through, and he like Barricade like comes up and he like opens the door and he like hits him.
Yeah, but I wanted to say that like on the side of the car, like it usually says protect and serve, but it says like punish and destroy.
Yeah,
that I thought was actually really cool.
No, it's to punish and enslave.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
like crazy that Barricade just got here.
Yeah,
and he already deduced the function of Earth's police.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Punish and enslave.
Just from reading all the stuff they saw online, like Barricade was actually able to deduce what.
But I think it's like you can interpret it like as now of being like, oh yeah, like that seems accurate for the cops. But I think it's just for like the Decepticons is just to.
I just think it's funny that like that's
punish and enslave.
That's pretty on point.
Yeah, for both factions.
I love it that also the cop car is so cool.
Oh yeah,
like
it's
that
such
style
a cool
of car. Like you can't deny that like certain police cars look cool.
Oh yeah,
and they definitely chose a style of car that would make it look cool. It's all shiny and like brand new, and it's like. Because they could have just made it like a Crown Victoria, but that would have not been as cool. But like no, they made it like.
I think it was a Mustang, if I remember. I think it was a Mustang.
It's like a Shelby, I think.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then especially where it's like slams him with the car, he falls down.
I've been followed here on my mother's bike.
And then he revs the engine and then pushes him over.
Like because he slams on the hood. It's like get out of the car.
Yeah, he just goes like, vroom, and
it's like, oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then like the headlights come out, and he goes like, what the fuck? And then he
like, what do you want from me?
And hits him because like Sam's running and he hits him, falls on top of a car, and he goes like, "Are you Ladies Man 217?" He goes like, "What?" He goes like, "Are you Ladies Man 217?"
Like,
are you username Ladies Man 217?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you username Ladies Man 217?
Yeah, it's like.
He goes like, where
21153.
Yeah, he goes, where are the glasses? And he goes like, I don't know, and he runs off.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like just him opening up like that is like, are you Ladies Man 217? It's like, oh my gosh, like nostalgic.
And then as he's running, he runs into Michaela and like knocks her off of her. Like,
yeah, and she goes like, what the fuck is your problem, dude?
What are your problems, Sam?
And she goes like, hey, like, no, there's a fucking monster that's behind me. Like, dude, we gotta fucking leave. And it's all like, he goes like, yeah, he's right there. And you just see him running and fucking like throwing cars to the side. It's just like, how would you have not seen that at all?
Yeah.
Like, you would have seen him.
You would have heard it before you saw it.
20 feet away.
Yeah, like you would have felt the ground shaking. You would have heard. Yeah. You would have heard like cars being thrown. It's like.
Oh yeah, and then Bumblebee comes in, trips him with like before even transforming. And then especially where he gets up and he runs, jumps, and then transforms into the car. I'm like, that's cool. But yeah, and then that whole chase sequence is cool. And then the especially amped up with the music like,
too. Like they get in the car and then they're driving. Like the chase scene is really cool because like, they jump through a building and that was a practical effect. Of them like driving through the glass. That was really cool.
Yeah, but. Then it's like later on that night, then they both fight, and then they also like both Sam and Michaela, they both fight Frenzy too. So like that scene was actually also pretty cool.
Cuts his head off.
Yeah.
And like
and then he transforms into her phone.
Like takes his pants off. That was weird.
Yeah. I'm just like, well, he's trying to get away and he's just like grabs his pants. So, but yeah, then he transforms into her phone. Because he finds her stuff.
His separate head, you know.
Yeah, and then all that just to basically have him be transformed into Bumblebee, and then where they're all like, "Wow," and they're trying to deduce like what it is. Yeah, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a robot," and it's just like, "Yeah, it's probably Japanese. It's definitely Japanese."
And like they're not wrong.
No, they're not. Transformers is Japanese.
Transformers was originally a Japanese thing until like Hasbro came along. It's just like, you know what?
Well, we're gonna sell the toys.
Actually, no. It was Marvel that helped create the storylines for the original Japanese toys.
Yeah.
Marvel helped like write a little bit of like they turned like some random code name and like that.
Also, isn't Marvel just great just to grab IPs and just be like, let's make this into a comic book?
Yeah, sure.
Because like there's like a few of them, like Sandman, which we talked about this before, not on the podcast, but like Sandman is a DC comic.
Yeah.
So
we talked about this.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like those kinds of like side character things are like especially Power Rangers. Power Rangers is owned by Marvel.
Yeah.
For the comics, and it's like, what? Like I didn't realize that up until I went to Barnes and Noble at one point, and I was looking at like a bunch of like the graphic novels, and there's also some that are like not like DC or Marvel, but it's all like just random graphic novels like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Transformers, and it's all like, wait, Power Rangers is owned by Marvel for distribution for the comics? Like that's fucking awesome. So, but yeah, I just think it was like cool, or not cool, but another funny thing that happens is like they get in the car because even Sam tells Michaela like, do you want to look back at your life in 50 years from now and say that you got in the car?
Yeah.
And just to basically make it as like, okay, well, we can just be lame and not get inside of Bumblebee and not go off onto this adventure, or we can have the best time of our life and get in the car and just like see what happens.
Yeah.
So, and especially where they're both in the passenger seat, and so you just see the steering wheel just moving, like because he's driving. She goes like, for a robot, he drives pretty good.
Yeah.
So because like she's also a gearhead, which is funny, but he goes like, well, go sit in the driver's seat. And she goes like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He's driving right now. And he goes like, well, like you could just sit in my lap, like and she goes like, why would I do that? And he goes like, because I got the only seatbelt, safety first. And so she goes like, okay. Fine. So then she lays on top of him, and he goes, and so she actually admits like, okay, well the seatbelt line was actually a pretty good line. She goes like, thanks. And I love how his little chuckle is like, thanks.
and then
and so she goes like,
I don't understand. It's like all the cars you could turn into, you could just turn into this piece of crap Camaro.
Yeah, and then immediately stops on the freeway, kicks them out,
like,
and he goes like, "See, now look at what you did. The
pissed
car's
him off.
sensitive."
Sensitive.
And then he's like rolling on two wheels. I'm like, oh my god, it's so great. And then the sleek 2007 model of Camaro comes by.
This is so cool.
Yeah, then he comes by. I'm like, literally, the whole series is just nothing but ads. It's a giant car commercial.
Yeah,
it's a giant
it's product placement.
Yeah, it's like
sure.
It's cars. It's Burger King because like Michaela was outside the Burger King when Sam like fell. And
there's Mountain Dew.
There's the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of different ad placements in this, and I'm like,
well,
okay.
yeah, that's a Michael Bay film,
as well as Nokia, like all the cell phones and stuff. So
what I think this is the coolest ability that Transformers have, that they can just like change their appearance
they can
just by scanning something.
any like vehicle in the world and transform into it. And then he comes pulling back up, and he goes like, "What?" My first thought is like, "How are you going to explain this to your parents? How are you going to explain the fact that you had a shitty ass Camaro that you bought for $4,000, and now it's like the latest version of the Camaro? How are you going to explain this?"
It doesn't matter. It's cool.
Yeah.
Also, like A Battle Without Honor or Humanity is playing when he pulls up. That's also really cool. Yeah, like the bass line, like it's so cool.
Yeah, he goes like, "What? Boom, boom, boom." It's like, it's great. And then later that night, they like Bumblebee drives them to an alleyway because like at this point now. Well, he drives them to somewhere, like a hill or something like that, because then the Transformers start touching down. No, that was before all of that. Now he's actually on his way to the alleyway, because now the Transformers are here.
We get to see the scene of the Transformers coming in.
Yeah, from the heavens.
Which is crazy because, like, the Decepticons were already here. They've already infiltrated.
Yeah.
But then when
Bumblebee is the only one that was the Autobot that was
the
there.
Autobots touch down, they cause all this damage.
Yeah.
Like Like
I love the little girl where she wakes up and she grabs her tooth and it's in a little bag that says Tooth Fairy, and then she goes like, "Excuse me, are you the Tooth Fairy?" And then her parents run out and he goes like, "Holy God, what happened to the pool?"
the pool.
And then you just see like Optimus like going like, "Well, I'm gonna get away from here."
Yeah, because
he's like, "This doesn't concern me anymore."
Ratchet touches down outside of like a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah,
and then I believe it's either Ironhide or Jazz. Like
Jazz
literally hits the middle of a baseball stadium.
I think it might be. Yeah, because that's Jazz. Ironhide was the one that touched down to the pool.
Yeah,
that was him because he transforms into the guy's truck.
Yeah.
So, and then Jazz transforms into a Porsche. No, a Cadillac.
No, it's a
well, it might be a Cadillac Porsche dealership.
No, it's a Pontiac.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Pontiac.
It's a nicer Pontiac when Pontiacs were still a thing.
Yeah.
Also cool that like the Autobots specifically like transform into ostentatious sports cars and like really like the GMC truck. Like really expensive cars for the time.
It's like this big, huge fucking truck.
Yeah.
So, and then of course you have the Optimus that transforms into the semi.
Yeah. Like he stands on the hill and then he just happens to see a semi that has hot rod flames all over it.
Right.
People were upset about that, by the way. That like, why does Optimus Prime have hot rod flames? Why is he red?
Yeah.
Or why isn't he red?
Why isn't he
red and blue?
a fire truck?
Well.
Colors.
I think like Michael Bay answered that as like, well, red is really hard to get on camera.
Yeah.
You see something red and it's red and shiny, it fucks with cameras so much in the lighting.
Yeah.
He had to make the truck blue, or he had to like put blue hot rod flames on it to make it so that the car wasn't like the truck wasn't only red.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool little tidbit because people
I didn't know that.
were angry that like, why does Optimus Prime have hot rod flames? That makes no sense. That's a bit ostentatious, you know?
Yeah. Then they all transform.
Which is cool.
Again, it was really cool because, like, Optimus transforms, and then I think the rest of them transform. The way that Jax transforms is, like, where
he does, like, a flip.
He does
like
a flip. Because, like, I think that he's originally, like, upside down, and then when he transforms, he, like, spins and then springs back. And then also Ratchet, when he transformed,
like, turned his whole torso around.
Yeah, like, it spins around, and he's just like, and I'm like, dude, like, all of them transforming have their own sound bites. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like that is like cool. Easily the best part of the whole movie is the sound bites of them all transforming.
The sound design
so fucking
is
cool.
Like just the sound effects are just great.
And then you have Optimus, especially when he's talking, you can see like in his mouth like the what is it called, the wavelengths,
the wavelengths
of his voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool that you can see that, but it's also the same thing of going like, well, Optimus Prime, like in the cartoon and stuff, just had his faceplate,
had his mask.
He didn't have a mouth.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's kind of weird when I first watched this.
The faces are a bit uncanny.
Yeah.
The
like
human
the rest of them, the rest of them are fine. It's just Optimus is weird.
It gets worse as the movies go on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
To the point where you get to like 4 and 5, and just the Autobots just have human faces.
Yeah.
It's just
weird.
It is very weird. It's very, very off-putting.
Yeah, because like I just think that it's funny when Optimus is introducing all of them, like, oh, this is Ratchet, this is Ironhide, this is Jazz, and he goes like, oh yeah, like I'd like to introduce you to Jazz, and he's like breakdancing. Yeah, he goes like, what's cracking, little bitches?
Yeah.
So
what's cracking, little bitches?
My first lieutenant. Designation Jazz.
This looks like a cool place to kick it.
And then introduces Ratchet as his medic, and he goes like, "Hey, I'm Ratchet. If you have a boo boo, I'll kiss it.
No.
Make it better."
He does not say that.
I know.
No. He says something even more kind of sus.
I know, because he goes like, "Oh yeah, the boy's pheromone levels suggest he wants to mate with the female," and he's like,
Medical officer, Ratchet. The boy's pheromone levels suggest he wants to mate with the female.
That's
like,
weird.
That's weird.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. But then he goes like, oh yeah, and then here's my weapons expert, Ironhide, and he goes like, oh, you feeling lucky, punk? And then he goes like, easy Ironhide. He goes like, I was just kidding. Just want to show him my cannons.
My weapons specialist, Ironhide.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Easy, Ironhide.
Just kidding. I just wanted to show him my cannons.
Like the one-liner, it didn't work.
No.
Like I get it. Like he's supposed to be like he must have like watched a lot of Clint Eastwood movies to like replicate his voice.
Especially for that, it's all like the fact that he goes like, well, where did you learn to talk like that? And he goes like, we learned your ways from the World Wide Web.
And in some cases, like especially in lawyer movies, the Autobots are very stereotypical and that kind of racist.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit of racist caricatures, especially in the second movie.
It was like the second one. You have the two brothers,
twins who are like
the bugs, where they're kind of like ratchet, like gangsters in a way, or like they're trying to be gangsters. Because like one of them has gold teeth, chains, and stuff like that. It's very racist.
It's very racist
for sure.
You could even say that Jazz is a little bit racist.
A little bit, but like, because like he doesn't act black, but he talks black.
Yeah.
But
like
I don't necessarily think it's supposed to.
Like, why is he talking like that? None of the other ones talk like that.
Right.
Yeah, but like, and then you already met your guardian, Bumblebee.
Right. And then he does like the boxing moves of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can only communicate with the radio because Ratchet then, like we mentioned earlier, he explains that like, in battle he damages his vocal cords.
Yeah.
So, because like even in Bumblebee, like his own movie, Haley Steinfeld goes like, oh, like you can't talk. So then she says like, well, why don't you talk using the radio stations? And that's where he like starts talking with the radio. So because originally it was like, okay, well, here's this tape.
I like how the whole premise of Bumblebee was to set up for like it seemed like it was a prequel to the Bayverse movies.
Yeah.
Because Bay was a producer in that film.
Yeah.
He did have some influence on it. He didn't direct it because he didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
But he was like,
I'm done.
I still want to have my hand in a little bit of like the Transformers cinematic
Yeah, because like
universe,
I'm the one that made the franchise happen, so screw you.
And
then cut to like after Optimus explains like, because Sam goes like, where'd you guys come from? And he goes like, oh, we came from a planet Cybertron,
and it was ravaged by war, and then
because of the Decepticons, and then we had to find refuge, and now we're here.
Creates a hologram of like what Cybertron
which is actually
looks like.
Really cool because like
it is cool.
When he looks at the ground starts breaking apart, and then it's just like lava's everywhere, and then like they're all looking around it. I'm like, okay, that was actually a pretty cool touch that they did.
And the towers are coming up, and you see Megatron. He like throws a spear at like one of them.
Yeah,
which is crazy. It doesn't. It's kind of crazy how like Optimus creates that vision when he doesn't know what like
really happened.
What
like
Cybertron looks like,
right? Because he was never there
to like create this vision to like. It kind of like helps his point a little bit. It's a little bit suspicious.
Yeah.
Sort of like
right. But yeah, then we're back at the FBI holding interrogation room where Glenn takes the donuts and eats all of them and explains to Maggie, see, the point of the donuts is to make you feel guilty. Because like if you feel guilty, you go for the donuts. But you see, I ate the whole plate.
The whole plate.
And so they come in, like the two agents come in, immediately drops the files on the floor on the table and goes like, she did it. She did it.
She's the one you want.
And he goes like, man, I'm still a virgin. And he goes like, oh, sugar rush.
I got nothing bad in my entire life.
He goes like, so can I go home now? And
don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, criminal. Sugar rush.
He goes like, talks about like, yeah, I downloaded millions of songs, but who hasn't? Who hasn't done that? And he goes like, hey man, I'm still a virgin.
That's great.
It's a great scene. And with then now we're cut to Sam trying to find the glasses because Optimus wants the glasses. Mm-hmm. So then they go home. He's trying to find the glasses.
And this scene is just ridiculous.
It is. It's really funny. It's a really funny scene because, like, you have the Transformers that are on the path and like they're just breaking the whole lawn.
Like,
and
stay off my grass.
Because like, they're in the alleyway and he goes like tells Michaela, go like, hey, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna run inside and I'm just gonna go grab the glasses and I'll be right back.
Keep them out here. Don't let them cause any trouble. You
Yeah,
know?
and then like a minute later, they're in his backyard, and so they're like, hey, you need to find the glasses. He goes like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I told you to wait for 5 minutes. Really? You can't give me 5 minutes to find these fucking glasses?
And then they're all parked on the grass, like,
yeah, and then they transform, and he goes like, okay,
this is not hiding. This is not hiding. This
is the truck stop.
This is my backyard, not a truck stop. Like, oh god.
And like they're just really antsy about getting the glasses to the point where Optimus goes like, here's Michaela to help you find your glasses.
Like, it would be really suspicious if anybody saw a bunch of cars in the backyard, but like the cars that look like that,
yeah,
like
again, super nice, never had a scratch on them ever, super nice new cars. Like,
yeah.
that's what's even more suspicious about it. But then they so he's trying to tell Optimus, going like, you want me to find the glasses? I can't find the glasses because you're out here causing noise. You guys are like not being quiet. I told you to be quiet. And he, like, the whole time he's like, okay, calm down.
You got it. He's making a racket. I can't concentrate. You want me to look, and I'm here.
Calm down.
And he goes like, all right, Autobots, fall back.
And, like, thank you.
Yeah, and he goes like, thank you. Just give me 5 minutes, maybe 10. And I'll have him. He goes,
Optimus
okay.
goes like, what's the matter with you? Can you see he wants us to be quiet?
Yeah, and like, you're the one that's doing the thing. You're the one that's not shutting the fuck up and not fucking following your shit.
And then Ratchet runs into a power line.
Yeah, and like he
hits
spins around and then hits the ground. And he goes like, oh, that was tingly. And he goes like, you gotta try this.
Dad's like, earthquake.
Yeah, and he's like holding a glass of wine and he runs underneath the table. And she
Aftershock,
goes like, how did you get over there so fast? But especially when Sam initially comes in and his dad is like basically going like, yeah, your mom wanted me to ground you because you were going to be late. And he goes like, hey, it would be great, like, you know, I paid for your car, you know, like if I did your chores for you too. And he goes like, oh yeah, the chores, sorry about that, Dad, like I'll do that right now. I'll sweep the deck,
like,
I'll sweep the whole house. So and he goes like, go sleep well, handsome man. Like, that whole sequence is hilarious.
It's like, how do his parents not realize what's going on? Like,
right.
And all it takes is to look outside in the backyard to see what the fuck was going on.
Right.
I like how like Ratchet is like, wow, that was dangling.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you gotta
so
try
he goes
that.
like, and then I heard he goes like, yeah, it seems fun.
Yeah, it seems my fun. And then like, what is crazy? It's like
when Mojo gets out, because Sam has a Chihuahua called Mojo and he has a broken foot. He has a little cast on it.
Yeah.
And like he pees on Ironhide and he goes like, oh, you seem to have a
rodent infestation.
Yeah.
Shall I terminate? No,
and he
Mojo.
goes
We
like,
love
no,
Mojo.
we love Mojo. He's a Chihuahua. We love Chihuahuas, right? And Megafox is like, yeah.
Bad
and he goes
Mojo.
like,
Bad
he seems
Mojo.
to have lubricated all over my foot. And he goes like, oh, he peed on you? Bad Mojo. Bad Mojo. And he goes like, bad Mojo.
Pest.
He goes like, oh, it's gonna rust now.
It's gonna rust.
But
I like how the power line goes out and then like,
well, then it shakes and then the whole system goes down, like
Yeah.
throughout the neighborhood.
and then Sam's dad comes outside and is like, honey, better call the city. We got a blue transformer.
Yeah, we got a blown
Like,
transformer out here.
I thought, yeah.
Like, and then also the fact that like they go upstairs to go and see Sam, to see if he's okay, and they see the giant light that Optimus is protruding off of his chest
can't
for
see.
the headlights.
It's like, what's going on in there?
And so they're like, we saw lights in here. He goes like, you got two flashlights in your hand, Dad. That's what it was from. And like literally me to my dad, like, well, we saw this giant light. You have two flashlights in your hand right now. What are you talking about? Like, that's where the light's coming from.
And then like,
And
mom's
they're
like,
then mom has to make it awkward by saying like, oh, were you in here jerking off?
It's like,
and
no,
so she goes like,
it's
no,
okay.
Mom, I wasn't in here masturbating. And so like they're both like, what are you talking about right now?
and then Michaela comes out and is like, hi,
I'm Sam's friend. And she goes like, oh, I'm sorry that you had to hear a family discussion.
I like how Sam's dad gives him a fist bump. It's like,
yeah, and he goes like, hey, like, good job. and so she goes like, you're very pretty.
That's crazy.
And especially where she admits like, I was drinking a little bit. So
yeah,
like that was funny. And she goes, and so he goes like, "Hey mom, like, have you seen my backpack?" She goes like, "Yeah, it's downstairs in the kitchen."
It was downstairs in the kitchen the whole time.
Fuck. And now the Sector 7
Sector 7 shows up.
But yeah, they see the readings off of this device that they have of the radiation from the Transformers.
I like also how they spam the doorbell.
Yeah, and like where Simmons is looking through the mail slot. It's like ding 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 ding. And so they basically arrest them all, and now they're on their way to Sector 7. And I just found it really creepy that Simmons was talking about Michaela, going like, "Yeah, she's a criminal like her father. Criminals are hot." And I'm all like,
because this is the part
weird. Why are you talking about a minor like that?
Weird. Also, it's
like I get it, she's hot, but you're 45 years old. Relax, old man. All right.
It also makes you think that, like, side note from a director's perspective, you know what Michaela's full name is in this film? Michaela Baines.
Yeah.
Michael Bay named Megan Fox's character after himself.
Well, he did have an unhealthy relationship with Megan Fox, and that's the only reason why she was not in the third one.
Yeah, because what Megan Fox is a self-insert.
Yeah.
For Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no wonder why he named her after, like. So obviously at every single point, like, we have to acknowledge that Michaela is smoking hot.
Right.
Right. Especially even if it's weird if it's by a 45-year-old man. You know, it's like, but like this is the point of the scene where we get to see a little exposition about Michaela, whatever lore there is. Like, Michaela literally helped her dad commit Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
By rigging people's cars and stealing them.
Yeah.
I will lock you up forever.
Yeah.
It is time.
And
what do you know about aliens?
Optimus grabs the hood of the car or the roof of the car, and then it just breaks off, and he just goes like, "Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet my friend, Optimus Prime."
Taking the children was a bad move.
Yeah. And Bumblebee pees on him.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why you needed to do that. You did not need
just
to do
to emphasize
that.
how funny it would be. Because originally he opens up the flap and a cup jumps out.
I
and
know,
hits him,
but it's like,
and then
why did you make him pee on him?
Right.
Like, that's
even if it's obviously
stop
it's not
lubricating
pee.
But yeah, you didn't need to do that though.
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
Yeah,
right?
It was. I think it was just to
and then they make him
him
strip down. It's like,
yeah. Well, Michaela did that to have him going like, "Well, that's for talking shit about my dad. Like, fuck you. Now you're going to be naked in front of me, and I hope that your pee-pee is small." So
you know what's also funny is Simmons' assistant.
Yeah.
The actor for him.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that he was the janitor in Zack and Cody?
Yes.
I don't remember his exact name, but I
don't remember his name either. But no, there's a couple of Disney Channel kids or people that are in this movie.
Yeah.
Like when the Autobots touch down, they're showing the guy on the news station, the guy with the backwards hat, he goes like, "Oh man, my moped was under that. Who's going to pay for that?" Like him, he was on the Disney Channel.
Oh yeah.
He was also in Community. He was the principal in Community. If you've seen that.
I didn't know that.
He's such a funny actor. But the kid that was recording when Ratchet touches down, and so he's running, he goes like, "Man, I hope this guy has asteroid insurance." Like that kid, he was also in a few movies and shows and stuff.
Interesting.
So I recognize all those guys from being on Disney Channel and stuff. So it's funny.
Got to alert everybody.
Yeah,
they already know.
No speaker. I'm just that's stupid. But don't care about what happens after this because basically Bumblebee gets transported to Sector 7, blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah, they kidnap him. And then,
they all go to Sector 7.
Autobots leave him for dead.
And even Jazz talks to Optimus and he goes like, "Hold on, fall back. I'll talk to Optimus." And he goes like, "What are we gonna do about Bumblebee?" And he goes let them take Bumblebee. And he goes like, "Well, right. Yes, let the humans leave. We'll figure it out later."
Yeah.
And then they go to the Hoover Dam because that's where Sector 7 is. And he starts talking to Simmons and Simmons' boss, where he goes like, "Well, here's a list of demands that I want." He goes like, "I want my parents out, I want my car back, and I want her Judy record gone.
Needs to be gone."
So, and Simmons, when they all walk away, Simmons goes like, "The kid's an extortionist." So, but all of this doesn't really matter as much because then they meet Megatron. They're like, okay, well, actually, his name is Megatron. It's not fucking whatever. MPE.
Non-biological. It's NBE.
Yeah, NBE, non-biological
extraterrestrial.
Yeah. And so they're like, yeah, so like we found him in the ice. That's where your great-grandfather made the discovery of him and the Allspark. That's why the Allspark is here. And who was it? Yeah, Hoover built the dam around the spark so that way nobody else, including an alien life, could actually find out where it's at.
4 football fields thick of concrete.
Yeah. And like
kind of crazy, like kind of a bad idea to have both the Allspark and Megatron
in the same place. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, why would you have both of them in the same place together? Why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Eventually, it gets to the point where the Autobots know where it's at, like the spark. They don't know that Megatron is there right then and there, but Jazz, like, they're all talking about like, well, we gotta rescue Bumblebee, and he goes like, he would have us try to find the Allspark because now they have the glasses and then they find out where it's at and stuff.
And then they question like, why are we doing all of this for the humans? They're a primitive and violent race. And it's like,
it goes like, well, we were once
so different.
Yeah. So, but then who was it? Frenzy's there
because Frenzy like
he falls off the dam.
Because like what Bumblebee does is he like puts his hands up and he like makes the cube smaller.
No, before that, Frenzy like basically becomes whole again,
and then like because he's restored by the Allspark.
Yeah, he's restored by the Allspark, and then later
they do a demonstration of like what the Allspark's power can do.
Yeah, and then that transforms the phone into a Decepticon, which I don't really understand of why the Allspark just turned other robots into Decepticons.
Well, I have a theory about that because like what I feel like is that the innate nature of a Transformer is to be violent, right? It's like because eventually like the base form of a Transformer is always like
just a naked robot.
Yeah. So, but then the robot needs to learn to be like have a good guy or a bad guy. Yeah, basically.
But it's already inherently a bad guy though, so that's what's tripping me up about it. Because
what if all the Transformers are bad?
Well, they're all bad in their own way.
Yeah, but what if the Transformers aren't exactly good.
Yeah.
You know.
But
I mean, they are. But like that's like a theory that like I saw a video about, which I'll talk about that later. But we're already like almost 2 hours into this pod.
Yeah, it's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours, but like, oh my god, like
there's
honestly, like it's a lot to discuss because it's a lot of like good things that happen in this movie.
We might need to break this pod down to like part 1 and part 2. Honestly,
no, I don't think so.
You think it's just gonna be fine if we do it all
all in one shot? Yeah.
Okay.
We might have to like cut out some stuff, but like it'll be fine. It's fine. But yeah, so Sam is telling them about like how Bumblebee is a good guy and Megatron's a bad guy and whatever, and so like they go and stop the guys from freezing Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee goes to the Allspark, brings it down to like a small cube, and they go to leave, but then Megatron gets unfrozen from Frenzy.
Frenzy starts to also disables like the cloaking around so that the Decepticons can find him.
Yeah. So then they all start making their way to the dam. So they're like, okay, like, you know, I'm on my way. Basically, like everybody's like, I'm on my way.
And Glenn and Maggie are with the defense secretary.
Yeah.
And then Simmons joins them at some point, and they get locked in a room
because of Frenzy.
Fight off Frenzy, basically.
Yeah.
Because the communications are cut off, basically, so they have to let other people know that like Megatron's thawing out. So their plan is to like hotwire this computer to like send Morse code to the Air Force.
Well, because like they have this really, really old radio, like for like Army radio.
Yeah.
And so then they're like going to wire it together.
They transmit through the radio to get Morse code to the Air Force.
Military, yeah. So But yeah, they fight off Frenzy. They kill him. Well, actually, technically, he kills himself.
Simmons uses a flamethrower on him, which is cool.
Yeah, he goes like, burn, sucker, burn, like the whole time. I'm like, how many more times are you going to say that?
Yeah, Frenzy basically like
kills himself because he keeps throwing out ninja stars. One of them hits something, bounces off, and then comes back and it hits him right in the head, and then he's dead.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, then Megatron finally leaves, but like I love how he transforms into the jet. He jumps up, flips, and then just transforms, and then he leaves.
Also, like Megatron for the longest time in these movies, I think is really cool. Does not adopt like a land vehicle form until he absolutely has to. He always maintains,
in the third one that he does
because he's all broken down.
He's
into
a broken truck.
Yeah. But like in the first one, he's a jet, and the second one, he's a tank.
Yeah.
Is really cool.
Well, I mean, like that's how he is throughout the whole series. Like he transforms into different vehicles because, like, you know, like the jet, the tank, the truck. It's like like that's how it is in the series because like he has the giant cannon.
Well, in the original animated series, he's a Walther P238. He's a gun.
Yeah. And then Starscream uses him as a gun to like shoot.
He can be a big gun too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like a giant cannon.
And then he can shrink himself to be like an actual gun.
Right.
It's very cool.
I think it's really funny.
Like at one point Optimus uses him as a gun in the original series. It's cool.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, then Megatron's out and Starscream comes to him and he goes like, Megatron, my lord, and he goes like, Starscream,
please tell me, Lord Megatron.
And he goes
where's
like,
the cube?
yeah, where's the cube, Starscream? And he goes like, oh, the humans have it. And he goes like, you failed me yet again. Find it.
Get them.
So, and that I thought was actually pretty good.
And then,
but then we have the highway fight scene afterwards where Optimus fights
Bone
Crusher, and I thought it was really cool that he had his sword, and then like he bends him over with his arm in his armpit and just like cuts, like stabs him right through the head.
Optimus,
my like the funny bit about this is like the mom and her son, like they stop when they're like fighting, and then he goes like, "Cool, mom." And I was just like, "Oh my god!" That's
like
funny.
Bone Crusher is like basically skating along the and he crashes into a bus. That was a practical effect, by the way. That was cool.
Like all the car stuff is practical effects.
Yeah.
Like like them getting cut up, them getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, Bone Crusher's dead, and then later on they're fighting in the city. Megatron has Jazz and
like,
is flying around. Yeah, and then he throws him down on a pillar, smashes on top of him. And Jazz goes like, yeah, you want a piece of me? And Jazz is like this big compared to Megatron, apparently.
Is huge.
He's huge. He's as big as Optimus.
Well, Optimus and Megatron are the biggest too.
Yeah, but like it's crazy how small Jazz actually was.
Yeah.
Because then Jazz is trying to shoot at Megatron. He goes like, you want a piece of me, huh? And he goes like, no, I want two, and rips him in half. Yeah. And my friend was actually sad about Jazz because Jazz is actually his favorite Transformer.
Yeah, Jazz got done dirty, and he never comes back.
The rest of them are fine. Or
Jazz is like one of the only Autobots to like
dies.
Die until like the third movie.
Yeah,
spoilers.
Because like Bumblebee gets his legs blown off.
Yeah.
So now he's Lieutenant Dan. Ice cream, Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. I'm gonna go for a walk, but you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
The whole back part of this movie is just like a fight for the MacGuffin, which now becomes the Allspark.
Yeah,
like it's Sam's trying to keep it out of their hands. And it's like they're a bunch of fighting in the street. There's Devastator, which is not Devastator. It's Devastator is another. The tank. I forget what the tank is called.
I actually
Brawl.
have a list.
I think the tank is Brawl.
Yeah, it's Brawl.
Brawl, and then
because I have a list of them. So Blackout was the helicopter, obviously. Scorponok is the scorpion. Frenzy is the robot guy. Barricade is the police car. Devastator is the tank, and Bone Crusher is the military.
No. Brawl is the tank, I think.
Well, it's Brawl/Devastator.
Yeah.
So they have
Devastator
two names for him.
Devastator is the big robot in the second movie.
Yeah. So
which is weird.
Yeah.
I just remember always in the original, like even in the Transformer War for Cybertron video games, Brawl was the tank.
Yeah.
So
I like literally after the movie was done, I was like, I should probably jot down
learn
the
what the
Decepticon
names of the Decepticon
names.
yeah.
And I went back onto YouTube and I was all like, okay, like here's literally that scene of them all saying like, I'm mobilizing, I'm going to see Megatron.
Oh, it is. I guess it is.
So
Devastator.
yeah, it's Devastator. But then he is Brawl.
That's weird.
In another movie or something.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was
all hail Megatron.
Yeah,
that is a cool scene of like them all
is.
mobilizing.
Right.
Once
and especially
like,
Barricade where he just goes like hail Megatron. So, but especially where Sam's running to this building and he has to get to the roof to get
like he has to pop
help.
a flare so like he can give the Allspark to somebody else to get like the air lifted out of there.
And he gets hit by a car. And, like, it's these preppy little girls, too, right? That they're just like, did that little shit just dent my car? And so then, like, when he falls, the Allspark activates. Transforms the truck, transforms the Xbox that the guy is walking down the street with.
It doesn't...
And the Mountain Dew machine, too.
It doesn't transform the car. For some reason, it only transforms the steering wheel.
Like, the steering wheel, and then it attacks her face. I'm like, good, that bitch fucking deserves that. She's a fucking twat.
And we got the Mountain Dew Decepticon.
Yeah, where he transforms, he starts shooting Mountain Dew at people. It's like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, that's cool.
That's hilarious.
But then like the Xbox like starts having hands. It's all like in the box. It's like and he's like that's fucking funny. But I don't know why I wrote this down on my notes. It was like more intense fight than the cartoons.
Well, yeah, obviously
I was like, why
very
did I
violent.
write that? Like now that I look at it, I'm like, why did I write that down? But like that's inherently like how it is.
The Transformers movies are extremely violent.
Yeah.
Like in the third movie, Optimus just commits war crimes.
Yeah.
The whole
He does.
time, like,
Yep.
like if it would be extremely brutal if it was like humans fighting each other, but like they get to justify it like it's PG-13 rating because it's robot violence. But like no, he does some. Like, even him stabbing Bone Crusher is, like, that's brutal.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, him putting it through his head.
Yeah,
like,
and then it gets cut off. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's
but, yeah, and then the military are fighting one of the Transformers. It's
I believe the tank.
Well, they're
fighting Blackout and Devastator.
Yeah, so they fight Devastator.
Barricade is like presumed to be dead at this point. Barricade is not involved in this fight, I don't think.
No, I have it written down. It's the Barricade because like Lennox gets on the motorcycle, and because like they're going to because Epps is on the phone with the air support
airstrike coordinates,
and he goes like, all right. We got friendlies and we've got the enemy that are very similar. So the enemy will be tagged.
Tagged with green smoke, right?
Yeah. No, green laser.
Oh yeah.
So because he's got the laser pointed at him, and I just thought it was it was funny when Devastator is like doing stuff and then like Epps is like shining the light up on him and he sees it on his hand and he turns around and he goes like, what?
That's Blackout.
Is it?
Yeah. Blackout's the helicopter, dude.
Yeah, because then that's
Yeah,
you're
they're
right.
shining a light like because I think Optimus is fighting Megatron at this point.
Yeah, he's fighting Megatron.
Blackout's like gonna come up behind him and like buzzsaw him.
Yeah.
And then they shine a laser on Blackout and then they start fighting Blackout.
Yeah.
But even before this scene, like as the fighting is starting.
Well, I thought it was the Devastator because Lennox gets on the motorcycle
Are you
and
sure?
then slides underneath him with the grenade launcher and just starts shooting at him.
That's Blackout.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Blackout.
Okay.
Devastator, they just shoot him a bunch and he falls over and dies. Right. But even before this, what I find is really this whole scene with Starscream.
Yeah.
Because like they see Starscream and then.
Yeah, he's fighting the fighter jets.
Yeah, and like he's
city.
Transforming and turning like he makes another jet plane shoot their the other one
shoot their own guy. Yeah.
That's a really terrifying application.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially when he looks just like them. Like that is awesome and crazy because like he's flying around and then like he'll like bash on this guy and then like he'll spin around, transform, and then they're like, keep an eye on the bogey, and then he transforms again, slaps another one, and then transforms again, and then just like jets off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. But yeah, And then we get to the ending of the movie where, because Optimus tells Sam, "Hey, if all else fails, put the spark in my chest. I'll sacrifice myself and take out Megatron at the same time."
And then
Sam, because like Megatron's like, "Give me the cube," and he goes like, "Fine, you can just have it." Obviously, he doesn't say it, but like he goes like, "Fine, you can have it." Puts it in his chest.
Yeah.
And then Megatron can't handle the power of the
all
spark
the energy because like it's put
because
directly
it melts.
into his
Yeah,
spark.
because like it melts his chest.
Yeah.
And then Megatron's dead, and now they can all go like, "Yeah," but then. Who was it? Ratchet or Ironhide? They come up with Jazz in both of their hands. They're like, "Yeah, Jazz didn't."
I think it was Ironhide.
So, and he goes like, "Well, a small sacrifice to pay for us to win the ultimate battle."
And
So,
then now and only now, Bumblebee decides to speak.
yeah,
Like
he goes like, "Permission to speak, sir," and he goes like, "Go for it."
Even Sam's like, "You speak now?"
Yeah. And
It's
he
like-
goes like, "I'd like to stay with the boy." He goes like, "Okay, well that's up to him." He goes like, "Wait, you can be my car forever?" It's
No,
like
he's like, I think he just says yes.
yeah, it's kind of like, "You're coming home with me, Chunk." Ah.
Yeah,
Like, and then we have the
ending
last
scene,
the
which is
ending
Devin's
of
favorite of this entire film.
yes, because it's just Optimus saying like,
Optimus monologuing.
"Wherever you are, like however far away you are, like you can find refuge
With
here
the-
on Earth."
With the R-Spark gone, we can no longer return to our planet. But we
found a
fate
new
has
home.
wheeled us a reward, a new home.
Yeah.
So
But I have most of it written down. It's like, "I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting." And then cut to Linkin Park going like, "What I've done,"
Yeah.
and then directed by Michael Bay. Like,
I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here. We are waiting.
and then that's the end of Transformers. Finally, like
holy
after
crap. 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours. But we'll wrap it up here pretty quick though, because
A lot of
like
stuff
I don't have, because like all of the reviews on this like are 1 star. They're super fucking long. So I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So
We've talked about it. So like, okay, let's get to our consensus.
So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Well, we're gonna say if this is a rent, buy, or a skip. Hence the reason why this is called RBS in the first place. So, is it a rent, buy, or a skip for you?
I'm conflicted.
You're conflicted like the last 2 movies I was.
I am conflicted.
Obviously, it's either a rent or a buy,
I
and
can't
it's not a skip.
say that this is it's cool. It's a cool movie, but I can't say it's a good movie.
Here's the thing. Don't think of it of objectively being a good movie, because obviously this is not a good movie, right? But
The
it's
writing
kind of-
is all over
it's,
the place.
It's kind
The
of
writing
like,
is
so it's kind of like with me for Street Fighter, right? It's not a good movie, but I still enjoy it, to where I would still go back and watch it though. And it's not like, for me, it's not a rent just because of the fact that like I can go back and rewatch it anytime.
I have so much nostalgia for this movie, man.
Right.
Like this movie is what got me into Transformers. Like
Yeah.
I like even like just in the past like 12 months, I went and I bought a 4-pack of the original Decepticons from this movie.
Nice.
Like just because like it was a remake, like so it has Megatron, Blackout, Barricade,
Yeah.
and Starscream. So like I bought those 4, and I was like, I would not like at Transformers as much. I would not have an appreciation for Transformers as much if it weren't for this film.
Yeah.
Now in hindsight, like my nostalgia sort of worn off, and I could sort of see this movie has some flaws in it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still cool.
Yeah.
So I can't give it a buy. I can't give this film a buy. And I can't. But I can't also say that it's a skip,
No.
because like some of these other movies I would definitely give a skip. Like
Oh, yeah.
4 and 5, skip.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Don't watch those.
Yeah.
I will have to give it a. I'll give it a
Brent.
a very solid middle of the road rent. Not a low rent, not a high rent, just a rent.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
Because
You piece of shit.
wait, hey! I listen. I like it. It is cool. It is what. It was my first Transformers thing that I ever watched ever, and made me like fall in love with the franchise.
Yeah.
Of like, and get like a bunch of toys. Like I got so many. Like I love this movie so much. I made my parents look at 3 different Target stores just to get me a Megatron toy from the second movie.
Yeah.
Because it was cool. Because it was all over the place, and it's like
But
I
yet you have it as a rent?
Yes, because I can't say that like I'll want to watch it all the time. You know, like it will start you out on this like, oh, I gotta watch them all, but like it just like this movie has too many things wrong with it.
Yeah.
To say that like it's 100% a buy for me. It was certainly influential for me, but for diehard Transformers fans who kind of see this series as a blight on humanity, I'm doing it for them. I'm saying that this like that the fairest I could give is a rent. All right, this series. I already know what yours is gonna be.
Well, yeah. Like for me, I have, like you said, like the nostalgic factor for it because I first saw this in theaters as a movie that I didn't even buy a ticket for, so that was great on top of that.
Yeah,
so I got to see it for free.
Yeah.
But then later on, like, because I'm originally from Arizona, and so like I went out there to visit my then like girlfriend, and we were at the mall, and like I bought a 3 combo pack, like special edition Transformers pack. So it had the first 3 movies in there because that was the only ones that were at the time. And I was like, oh man, like this is cool. Like I'll buy it, I'll take it home, and then like I'll continue to watch it. And like I don't even remember what I did with it. I can't remember if I took it to like Half Price Books and like I sold it to them. But I'm just like, now I want the Transformers ones in physical again because this movie is so good. But even for that, it's like, okay, is it a good movie? No, it's not necessarily a good movie, but it's still a cool movie though. And like I just said, like Street Fighter is not a good movie, but I love that movie, so I have it. It's like this. Is it a good movie? No, but I still enjoy it to where like I will just own it. So for those reasons, I give it a buy.
Fuck yeah!
And I own the whole collection on digital, except for Bumblebee. That's the only one I don't have. But yeah, I own all of them on digital, so all the way till 5. So, because I even have Transformers 1 on Steelbook and on 4K, regular 4K, and then I also have Rise of the Beasts on 4K. Because I really liked that movie too when I went to go see it. Plus, that one sets up for the G.I. Joe crossover, so as an end credit scene.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you look like you have something.
Yeah. Couple things I wanted to say that like helped me like better understand and have a greater appreciation for this film.
Yeah.
Were two different resources. Number one is Pointless Hub. That YouTube channel,
yeah.
He has a lot of stuff on. He's done reviews of all 5 Transformers movies.
Yeah, you told me about this when I was first doing the podcast. That you were like, yeah, like at some point we should talk about Transformers because I have a couple of videos I wanted to talk about.
Well, so like if you haven't checked out Pointless Hub, he's great. He has a lot of like really dry humor when it comes to like reviewing like bad movies.
Yeah.
And he's done, like I said, he's done all 5 of Bay's Transformers movies. So watching those had me a better appreciation of the theories. But the really one that made me really love Michael Bay's Transformers was literally a video called "Learning to Love Michael Bay's Transformers" by Empire Wreckers. Mm-hmm. It's got 2 million views on YouTube. This video is fantastic. It's 40 minutes. It's a great watch. Basically breaks down the theory that there might be some sort of, there isn't, but he sort of like postulates that there might be some sort of hidden subtext or hidden lore within the Transformers Bayverse movies that sort of help you like see them in a different light. I love this video so much, and I appreciate. I recommend anybody who likes the Transformers films, who wanted to get more of a deep dive into like sort of the Transformers lore around that is like sort of present in the Bay films, to give this video a watch, because it is probably one of my favorite videos on YouTube. Nice. In terms of like breakdown of lore in like a film series. So definitely give those 2 channels a check out, because they definitely helped deepen my understanding and appreciation of the Bay films. Otherwise, I would have been just like, oh, this is just Hollywood slop before slop existed.
Yeah.
I will say, though, going back and watching this film again made me sort of, like, nostalgic for, like, this is what, like, people, when these movies first came out, people were like, oh, this is just, like, Hollywood trash.
Right.
But now, looking at some of the films that we have nowadays, it's like, it almost makes you nostalgic. It's like, oh, man, I kind of wanted to go back to see a Bay-style film, because you can't say that they didn't try in this film.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
At least on the effects and the visuals and the sound design.
Yeah.
Was just, like, so ahead of its time, really. And then, like, you have movies like Avatar that came out, like, after it. Just, like, this whole boom of, like...
I think it was, like, 2 years.
Let's up our visual effects.
Was it
like,
2 years?
massively. Because it came out in 2009, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. 2 year gap,
But, yeah. Any horror... we'll talk about suggestive people. I only got one for the 10-star review because all the 1-star reviews on IMDb were too long and just like contain spoilers.
This movie's like a lot. Like everybody's seen this movie. Everybody knows why it sucks. We don't need to like go why it like some people
like
think
why
it
is
sucks.
this and blah blah blah.
So like we don't need to hear that. So.
Yeah. So here's the 10-star review. So they said, awesome movie. Watch 10 blockbusters action in one movie. I don't know what the hell that they mean by that. It's probably like, oh, there's 10 blockbusters that are in this one movie, I would assume. I really love that movie. This is back in 2020, the end of 2020, December. So I really love that movie, a masterpiece of sci-fi genre and amazing visual effects and cutting-edge action sequences by action mastermind Michael Bay. I can't remember how many times have watched that movie, but every time I want to have fun and enjoy amazing visuals, I try Transformers 2007 again. But annoying thing about the movie is that Academy ignored that amazing special effects and gave Oscar to garbage movie named Golden Compass. Do you remember Golden Compass?
I don't remember Golden Compass.
It was based off of a book, but it was about this girl who has the polar bear.
The polar bear, yeah, I remember that film.
Shame on you, Academy. Huh?
Shame
on you, Academy. Brainless and stupid people of Academy are blind to awesome stuff like Transformers. Thank you, dear Michael Bay.
Okay, all right. Calm down, Mr. Michael Bay shill. Okay, this movie was a 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Right.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at a 57%. Okay, critics did not like this movies. Audience loved these movies. Critics hated them.
And there you go. There's an audience member that really loved this movie.
This is definitely
I think it's like 86% of Rotten Tomatoes or some bullshit. I don't.
And yeah, well, I don't remember. Probably Golden Compass definitely had a better story than this film, but like we'll see.
Probably.
Anyway, we need to get off this movie and like.
Yeah, we'll spin the wheel. See what we got up.
Oh next. Yeah, and we have to spin the wheel. See what next movie we have to talk about on next week's pod.
Yo. So we'll spin the wheel and then we will call this an episode because we have talked long enough about this. So here we go. Spin the wheel. See what we got. Next week's episode is going to be, it's really close. Yes, we get to talk about Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, okay.
So it was very close to hitting John Wick Chapter 3, and that would have been another 3-hour-long episode.
See, this is why I told you that you should have shuffled them a little bit better. So that
I did. I shuffled them like a few times before that.
Okay.
So, but yes. So next week's episode is going to be Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier, which is one of
don't forget to take it off
my
the wheel.
favorite. That's what I'm going to do. Which is one of my all-time top 5 favorite movies of Marvel and the MCU. So tune in for next week for Captain America 2. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, tuning in, listening. Whether it's on your commute to work or you're at work or you're on the treadmill or you're just at home chilling out, whatever. Just
Optimus Prime?
Was that you, Optimus Prime?
Optimus Prime?
I've come.
If you couldn't hear it, there was a semi-truck blowing his horn outside. So, but yes, thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section below about a movie that you guys want us to talk about, and be sure to share this around with anybody that enjoys movies. People talk about movies, movie reviews, whatever,
etc.
etc.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
And be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're up on YouTube and on Spotify, so you guys can check us out on both of those. And we will see you guys next week for Captain America 2. So, bye-bye.